nothing
That's a
wrong with
paper
your television set.
factory.
Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind.
Macon, Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Wednesday, Hump Day, for July 10th, 2013. Yeah, like the camel in the Geico commercial. Yes.
Yeah.
Guess what day it is? Back. Guess what day it is? It's Hump Day. Woo woo!
Hey, that was pretty good. Welcome to Hump Day. Yes, we've been humping a lot, just like a dog humps on
like the rhinos do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Rhino sex.
Wait.
Rhino porn.
Yeah, rhino porn. Anyway, it looks like two. I hate to say it, but it looks like two fat women. I don't know why. Oh, two fat guys. How's that? Fat guy and a fat woman. Okay, that's probably what it looks like.
Goodness, reminds me of an old joke back when my
friend.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of an old joke. Someone back in my childhood years, back into my fat and skinny went to bed, fat rolled over, and skinny was dead.
I can smell what the roast is.
Can you smell what the roast is? Can you smell what the roast is brewing?
Well, let me just say. See, speaking of smell, there's a freaking smell in this house probably coming from the paper factory. Jesus.
Yeah, the paper mill farted.
Oh, my God. It's terrible.
Again.
Anyway, I want to say good morning. Ellen Macon, good morning. And Killer's here.
LWR.
LWR Ventures. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Low register.
Yeah, low register. Michelle, Stacy, Nick, and Lynn. Somebody else was here and they popped out. So I don't know.
It's 8:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's 75 degrees here. It's cloudy with a high of 87 and a low of 72. There will be some scattered showers and thunderstorms. There's already some thunderstorms in Cordele. That's not too far from here, as a matter of fact, right now.
Yeah. But it's going to be thunderstorms all week. I mean, that's what they said. There's going to be no sun. I have a feeling this summer is going to be more of rain than usual.
Oh, yeah.
I predict that.
Well, it's already been predicted, right?
I'm like Karnak.
God, you should be a weatherman, Irv.
Yeah. I'm more like Irvnak. Irvnak Magnificent. Instead of Karnak, remember?
Irvnak, yeah.
Irvnak.
It's going to be a wild.
Anyway, we're here. A lot of shit going on. A lot of dog shit, too. We got stories this morning regarding my press conference yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know some of you.
Oh, yes, Miriam Paris said hello. I ran into her at Kroger yesterday, yeah.
Well, that's nice. You get to run into a former state senator at Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God there was no shooting.
Yeah.
And by the way, just want to let you know, police man or chief Burns, who we wanted him the hell out of here, Ventures, LWR Ventures. You haven't been around a bit, but you remember the whole bullshit with Junebug and all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the chief finally resigned. Good morning, Earl.
Earl?
Yeah, I see everybody's asking, wait a minute, DB, what are you doing here today?
Well, yeah. I guess now that you mentioned it, I just came back from North Carolina yesterday. I just got home about a quarter till midnight.
Wow. You see, that's called commitment, folks.
Yeah.
You see, you think that what we're doing is like a little game and maybe we're not on national television, although we are, aren't we? I mean,
Sort of.
national internet television we're on.
Yeah.
But even though we're not in this paid station, we're probably more committed than some of these assholes that are on it. I was just watching Mix in the morning, and they wanted me to call in, but they never brought up the subject. And I'm sitting there, and number one, they copied our format, which we originally had, which was 3 people. They always had 2. Now they always have 3, which is, directly stolen from us. Number 2 is they're not as interesting. Even though, you know what, maybe I'm not the best show in town. But damn it, we're better. I don't care. We are. Because at least we try to keep the audience interested. These guys mumble on. I mean, who the hell knows what they're talking about? You got to sit there for 20 minutes to figure out what the hell they are talking about. So I was going to call in this morning. And for whatever reason, they never brought up the subject about the dog pound.
They did?
But no, they didn't.
Not once.
And so Joe Allen said to me, call in at 7:30 and make a comment. I'm not going to go, and they're talking about freaking clothes. And I'm going to throw up the subject about dogs. I mean, it's kind of stupid to do that, no?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about some other bullshit, and then I come in out of left field. Oh, yeah, the dog pound was closed. Everybody knows the dog pound was
Thank you, Michelle. Speaking of dog pound, I got this, I'm glad you're liking the Polo Florida shirt. I got this from Big Dogs. You probably have seen this. The Big Dogs is a little store they have where the St. Bernard is the logo or the mascot of the company. They used to have a Big Dog store over in Tanger. In Locust Grove in the Tanger outlet, but
she's smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big dog. We're talking about dogs and Dog Day Afternoon and dog this and dog that and dogging it. You just saw the pictures of the rhino, the guy dogging the other rhino.
Rhino style dog style.
Yeah, he's my dog, and what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we ought to call this what? The doghouse.
The doghouse to the nut house.
Yeah, the doghouse. That's what this is. And this ain't no nut house. We're going to change the name to the doghouse. By the way, I'm going to get a pit bull. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, it was on the net yesterday. It was the last day they were going to kill this dog. Mm-hmm. And if you see the picture of this dog, it's little eyes. I mean, I don't care. The pit bulls aren't that bad. All right, well, maybe they maul people. Maybe,
they maul.
Maybe they go out and
like bulls. Yeah, maybe they gore people all the time.
They have lockjaw and lock in.
Kill a lot of matadors here and there.
But I figured, it was on his last leg or last day. They were gonna knock it out, pull it out. So I said, all right, let me just chime in here and see what the hell they can do. Well, what they're going to do and what they're doing right now as we speak is they picked up the dog from the pound. They brought it to the veterinarian. They're giving it all the shots. They're going to fix it up. They're going to wait a week because I said I'm not ready yet. They're going to hold the dog in the veterinarian for 1 week. It's going to gain a little bit of weight because obviously it was starving, whatever they did to this poor thing. And then they're going to bring the dog to me. And this is all coming from Jones County. So it's the next county over.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to bring the dog to me, and I'm looking forward to it. And we'll see what happens. But it's about, right now it's about 45 pounds. So he's medium. She said it's not going to get any bigger because it's an older dog. And not that old. It's about a year old, but it's basically full grown at this point.
Yeah.
It's just very, very skinny because it wasn't fed.
Yeah, but does it have a really nice,
Yes, it does. As a matter of fact, she said, I said, I want a dog with a good temperament. I don't want to, go and put my hand out and go to pet it and the freaking thing bites my arm off. And this happened to a dog in my family. Her name was Raina, right? And beautiful dog, mixed dog, kind of a terrier, beige dog. And my sister was singing. My sister Rosie was singing The Impossible Dream. Well, shit, it became a nightmare. That freaking dog leaped for her arm and, almost ripped it off.
Jesus.
And she was young. But I believe it was because she hit a very high note and hurt the dog's ear. I swear to God. I even said that when I was a kid. The dog didn't like it singing.
Yeah. But she could have at
So
least, but at least the dog could have just barked like, hey, tone it down a little or something like that.
Well, whatever. But the dog, the greatest dog in the world, I swear to God, was in the family like 8-9 years. And then, of course, never a problem. Of course, my sister hit that high note. And the freaking dog almost ripped her arm off.
Jeez.
And of course, we put it down after that. Very bad. Anyway, so I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Especially with a pit.
Yeah, because I don't want to be coming in and have like have to like.
Well, we'll
keep
see
looking
if
over my back.
my dog likes black people or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the dog will look at you and say, scrumptious dinner. Who the hell knows? Anyway, he is a black dog with a white stripe running up his forehead. Kind of like you,
Oh, really?
Black guy with a white stripe on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
Never
gotta buy
mind.
some Just for Men.
What's in the news? Get a dog whistle, he said. People can't hear it. There we go. Anyway, what's in the news here, Derek? You got some shit. We're going to talk about the pound and all that and what happened yesterday. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a state breeding prehistoric creature in Perry. It says it sounds something out of Jurassic Park, but a project in Perry is bringing a creature from the time of dinosaurs back to Georgia. Go Fish, Georgia is much more like a fishing museum. It says it's also home to a state hatchery and thousands of lake sturgeon.
Yeah.
Ugh. The fish was once plentiful from the Great Lakes down to Georgia, but the sturgeon is now threatened to completely disappear from Georgia by the 1960s, thanks to overfishing and habitat change. But for about 10 years now, the state has worked on to bring it back, although it is a long task. It says the fish doesn't reach breeding age until it's about 14 to 25 years old, and then it only lays eggs every 4 to 9 years. It says the fish can live well over 100 years, and the north has reached several hundred pounds. The state is stocking fish up around Lake Weiss and Lake Altoona around Atlanta, but it's already spread down the Coastal River Basin into parts of Alabama. So right now, it's against the law to keep a sturgeon if you catch it. If you catch one, you need to unhook it and release it as soon and as gently as possible.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is like a prehistoric fish.
Yeah.
I mean, does it bite?
Well, I mean, it has a mouth, so yeah. I mean, it grows really huge.
But
It grows really huge.
A goldfish.
It's kind of like the giant panda of the sea. Basically, it's just like just so huge and barely has sex, or let alone has enough sex to reproduce.
Wow.
So it doesn't reach breeding age till it's 14 to 25, and only lays eggs every 4 to 9 years.
Yeah.
So
Oh, geez.
it's like
Farted again.
it's like the
Did yours go out? Did it go blue?
What?
I lost it.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, no, I saw the picture. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of hee-haw press conference.
Yeah, the feed went out. I hate when that happens because then the video gets split.
Yeah. It's all good. But, no, it was a great,
Too much says the Amish Mafia. The Amish Mafia did it.
yeah, well, that's what it was. But, no, we had, this is a very interesting, development of them, making this prehistoric creature. Because now they're also talking about some of that mammoth blood that they found. Remember the mammoth that they found? We did a story on this.
Mm-hmm.
Where they found a frozen mammoth.
Yeah.
Almost fully intact and with flesh on it. And then they punctured it and some supposedly blood came out. And they said, well, it could be water or whatever. And from that, they can, along with an elephant's DNA, I guess, they'll be able to replicate a mammoth elephant.
Mm-hmm.
They're still doing that. They said they would have it within 4 to 5 years, so you never know.
So you're talking about like a Jurassic Park type thing?
Yeah, like a Jurassic Park. Why the hell not? But you know what? I mean, there were so many mixed animals at that time. Like, you think it's bad now with the creatures we got. And then it was like, they had animals with bones in its wings and who the hell knows what else.
Yeah,
the craziest shit. Yeah, pterodactyl. They had all different types of velociraptors and all different sizes, like from little ones to big ones to medium to everything.
Long ones, short ones, tall ones, medium. There was fat ones,
Exactly.
skinny ones.
Everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that song?
Spin a wine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they said if you happen to they did say if you happen to catch one or see a sturgeon, the state asks that you call 706-624-1161. Information on where you saw the fish and how big it is valuable in helping researchers track the population, how it's spreading and growing in the wild. So
yes. This is like a fish that's like a flea.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they overpopulate, even though they don't have sex or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said?
They don't have that much sex. They only like lay eggs like every 4 to 9 years.
Oh, okay.
So they've it's kind of like a panda. They rarely have children, but when they do, it's like every 4 years or so.
Yeah. Well, bring up that story about the woman, Miss Wardhall, because I mentioned her in a press conference yesterday. Because, when we were there yesterday, only one animal rescue person showed up. I was very disappointed somewhat, but not really. I wasn't surprised because this woman had an accident with her daughter, and a lot of those people were focused on this. Mm-hmm. So why don't you read that story there, Derek, about Miss Wardhall and her daughter who had a car accident.
What's her name?
Wardhall. Or Warhol.
Oh, yeah.
Warhol. She is the one that's in charge of those gas stations that are named after her and oil company. Warhol.
Yeah, there was an update on the condition of a Macon mother and daughter who were in a terrible accident on I-16 over the weekend. It happened around Saturday afternoon near mile marker 126. Libby and Allison Walthall were coming home from a beach trip when their car hit a pine tree. Both Libby and Allison had to be cut from the jaws of life, cut from their own car and airlifted to Memorial Medical Center in Savannah. Both women had head injuries. According to recently, I think Monday, Libby woke up around Monday and was able to communicate clearly with family members, and she had a CT scan back yesterday, Tuesday. Libby's daughter, Allison, however, had a surgery on Monday for a brain bleed and remained in the ICU. The current plans calls for Allison to be taken off the ventilator on Tuesday. I don't know whether or not that she off the ventilator. I don't know. It basically saying that she doesn't need any more doesn't need to be on life support, or they're pulling the plug, or she's breathing without any assistance or something. That's still kind of still hasn't been specified as of yet.
Wow. Well, they are big animal advocates, active, whatever, caretakers, rescue people. So when this happened, everybody was so-called affected. A DS Photo guy says that Irving says none of the animal rescuers want the shelters shut down like you're calling for. Here's the thing. They're saying different. So whether we have a bunch of hypocrites saying this shit, I'm not sure. But I know that a lot of them are calling for the shelter to be shut down, or at least not shut down, but they want that woman, Ms. Tennant, out of there. And that's what I'm calling for. I'm not calling it to be shut down. God knows we need as many as we can use. It's just that place is really a rat hole of a place. I mean, it should be just for cats. It's not even that big. You put in 3 or 4 dogs in there and the place is packed. It's ridiculous. I think my house is bigger than the whole freaking shelter. And
it is kind of small.
It is small. And so I don't know. But let's go into that story because might as well. We got some video also.
Okay.
We'll show you at the press conference. And what's funny is, if you saw the day before, they had me on 2 different channels. And on both occasions, they basically had me with, some shots and whatever. They had me talking somewhat. This time around, one of them is me, but the other one is just Joe Allen. It's like they just took the whole footage that I had talked during the press conference wasn't even used. It's kind of like 42, They spend all this time and freaking money, and then they don't use any of it. And they use Joe Allen instead. But I'm grateful that he got involved because what happened was it raised the bar up. Now he's fighting with the other commissioners and all the commissioners. All of a sudden, Sam Hart comes out of the freaking woodwork and starts to bullshit. But he only comes out to say, well, she met our expectations and this and that. No, you stupid ass. You haven't even talked to the other side yet, Mr. Hart. You haven't even talked to me, who knows that we gave her that information on Friday and she didn't do shit until Monday. That's why you had to put down 5 dogs, you moron. And this is the problem that frickin' shelter has. It's an all-kill shelter. All those animals go in there. It's like going into frickin' Auschwitz. You can expect they're gonna die in there. That's what I feel. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But at this point, it is. So anyway, the whole frickin' place is a joke. And that woman is, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's got murder written all over her face. And now somebody made a comment about maybe the dogs are being chopped up and thrown in the lake in the back where there's alligators. Did anybody bring that up? And I'm like, Joe, what do you think of this one? He goes, who said that? I said, I don't know, but somebody said it. He goes, well, it's true. There is a lake back there. There's a swamp with alligators back there. I said, don't you think that they may be throwing those dogs to get rid of them and not see the bodies? They're just throwing and feeding those dogs to the alligators in the back? The fact that somebody brought that up is really an issue now that I'm going to bring up when I go to meet with the commissioners. But anyway, so here it is. Officials in the State Department of Agriculture said Tuesday that the Bibb County Animal Shelter self-imposed my rear end. Quarantine for parvovirus will be lifted on Thursday. The shelter, however, is still taking criticism from a resident whose puppy died of parvo, right here, which set off the controversy. Don't you love it? I get the blame for setting off the controversy.
Jeez,
I love it. Harvey Martinez, a former state Senate candidate who adopted a puppy last Wednesday from the shelter, said at a Tuesday news conference he is still angry about his dog dying 2 days later. He called Tuesday for the firing and resignation of Animal Welfare Director Sarah Tennant. I still call for her. Martinez acknowledged during the news conference that he received a copy of the report that showed his puppy had been vaccinated before he adopted it, but he said that the shelter is poorly run. The puppy could have been infected with parvo before it was vaccinated, however. Once the parvo was discovered, 5 other puppies at the shelter were euthanized on Monday, Tennant said. She said she's been in contact with 4 of the 6 other people who had recently adopted puppies from the shelter, but so far none of those dogs have shown any signs of the illness. The area where the puppies were kept is under quarantine until Thursday. No puppies will be accepted at the shelter until the quarantine is lifted. The rest of the shelter, however, remains open. Martinez was joined Tuesday by Bibb County Commissioner Joe Allen, who said he had been trying to get answers since Friday, when Martinez's dog died, about what happened. Allen said he had seen Facebook complaints from local residents about the shelter, and he laid the blame at the feet of the other commissioners and County Chief Administrative Officer Steve Layson. Commissioners and the CAO need to do their due diligence, Allen said. I don't think we have the right person in the job. Allen added that the current county commission doesn't take action. Perhaps a new Macon-Bibb County consolidation government will when it takes over January 1st. Weeks later, Layson defended Tenen and said the shelter followed protocol when the parvo was reported. He said the constant criticism of Tenen and the shelter is misplaced. Screw you, Layson. Go lay in it. Go lay in some parvo dog crap. You're a liar. Trying to defend her for no good reason. She's a liar.
Who are you talking to?
Talking to Cameron.
Oh.
Talking to Layson.
Oh.
Layson said Tenen is said to make a report during Tuesday's commission meeting, which we're all going to be there, by the way. I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. This is in the morning. Commission meeting. I'm going to be right there with a bunch of, hopefully, some rescue people while she's giving the report, and then we're going to start asking her questions right there. That's how we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And on Tuesday's commission meeting about the number of adoptions, euthanizations, and irrelevant data since the county took over the shelter from the city a year ago. Tenen declined to comment about the news conference, instead saying the community needs to do a better job of getting the animals spayed and neutered in order to control the pet population, which would alleviate a lot of problems. Once again, yes, she's right, but again, she's now blaming the community. Instead of taking full responsibility, yeah, I messed up. I didn't show up for 5 days, 4 days, whatever, after I was told. And that's why we had to quarantine and then kill 5 animals by the time that I got to work. She's not saying that. Now she's trying to blame the community, although I will agree that's part of the problem. But that's in every community, lady. Yeah, we're not some freaking, all of a sudden we're so, what is the word I'm looking for? We're so...
apathetic?
No, yeah, apathetic, and even that this is something unique to this community. This is everywhere. You go to New York City and you take a look at how many roadkills there are there. Mm-hmm. Believe me. They don't have a shot like here.
I saw a couple of roadkills on my way. I saw a deer and an armadillo. Armadillo of all places. Yeah. You usually find them in Texas and Arizona, in the Southwest, but I guess so many vegetables and stuff, I guess we're in so many trucks and stuff that coming from Texas that you starting to see more armadillos in Georgia. I mean, this is like the third dead armadillo I've seen driving, They're going to
have a shelter for the armadillos next.
Yeah. In about a year.
You know what? See, she can run that. She can run an armadillo shelter. Because she can get them all up. Who cares? There's so many of them. Or maybe a rat shelter.
Hey, you want me to play the video?
Yeah, play the video.
Roll that beautiful footage.
There we go. Here's a video.
A section of Macon-Bibb Animal Welfare is actually quarantined right now after a parvo outbreak. They were alerted to that problem after a dog adopted by a community activist died just days after coming home.
41 NBC's Skylar Henry is live in front of the animal shelter now with how it all happened and what officials are going to do about it. Skylar?
Ashley, this all started last week. People came to the Macon-Bibb Animal Shelter to adopt a pet. 26 animals went to a new home, and community activist Irving Martinez picked out the last one. It was a dog. What he didn't know was that dog would be dead in a few days. Upset and outraged, Macon community activist Irving Martinez held a news conference on Tuesday about the state of the Macon-Bibb Animal Shelter. He bought a puppy from the shelter on July 3rd.
By the 5th of July, after numerous efforts to try to save this little dog, it died of parvo.
Parvo is a contagious airborne virus among young dogs. They can die if they're not treated.
Why would I be giving a dog filled with parvo out of a shelter?
Animal Welfare Director Sarah Tenen says in the 13 days the dog was at the shelter, it showed no signs of the virus.
We do watch for signs, but when each puppy gets to the shelter, we will start it on a vaccine protocol, and we will start the worming process for it.
She says because of funding issues, staff can't check all dogs for parvo. The area where Martinez's puppy was has been quarantined. Dogs that were contaminated were euthanized. Others were moved to the other side of the building.
I went through a very traumatic experience dealing with a small pup dying in my house.
Martinez claims a tenant knew about the parvo outbreak and didn't tell her staff. At the news conference, Macon officials stood behind Martinez and say all of the employees should have known.
If an employee knows of a parvo outbreak at the shelter, they should have notified any employee at the shelter at that time. She did not do this. I blame the county commissioners. Every one of the county commissioners should be held responsible. When we do the hiring, we should do a follow-up on all employees.
Someone tells me this is an isolated incident. The Macon shelter doesn't just give out animals with diseases, but she does say that parvo is a common risk at all animal shelters. She tells me where the area where the outbreak began will be quarantined for the next 3 days until it is fully cleaned. And she also said that Martinez will be receiving a free refund for everything that he paid. Reporting live in Macon, Skylar Henry, 41 NBC News.
Yeah, that's the...
We're back. Okay, well, that was the best video of both, because the other one is just Joe Allen mostly. They took him, and I'm glad they did in a way, because it takes it a step further up, the chain.
It has a little bit more pull.
It does. Yeah. Because, I'm known, I'm pretty well known, probably more than Joe Allen at this point. But, I feel like Joe Allen stepped up to the plate. I appreciate what he did.
He's always been there for the shelter.
And he's always been there for the, he's always there. Like, if he feels like what you got to say, tugs at his heart, he goes gangbusters. I mean, you should have seen him on Saturday, all freaking day. He's blowing up my phone, like, I'm over here, I'm trying to get there, and this and that. So I'm really, really grateful for him, and for doing what he did for me personally, and also for the little dogs, and the fact that he was there was cool. I appreciate it. I don't think that anything more than the quarantine is really the biggest impact. I don't think this woman's gonna go anywhere, but we're still gonna fight, because they're going to get a multi-million-dollar facility. And if this woman, this wicked witch of the West, who likes to kill animals for some reason, just to get them off her back because it's a nuisance. It's like having a bunch of kids, right? And maybe you have all these little kids, and maybe during that time of your life, all of a sudden you start regretting, like, man, I shouldn't have had so many kids. Well, it's very convenient for her to say, man, we shouldn't have so many dogs. Let's kill some of them all. Let's feed them to the alligators in the back. Who the hell knows what's running? I wouldn't put it past anybody, folks. I learned a very long time ago. You take a look at some of this nonsense that people do, and they lie through their teeth, and everybody believes them, and then lo and behold, they were all lying all the time. Whether it's the mother that killed the kids, and later on, oh yeah, I did it, after saying, oh, my children are missing, help me, and getting on the news, and they all look sincere, and then all of a sudden you find out they're the ones that murdered the kids. I don't put anything past anybody, period, the end. I don't trust anybody, period, the end. I wouldn't put it past her that's exactly what she does. When she gets overloaded, she says, oh, I don't want a parvo outbreak, I'm going to get all this news. Kill them off. Get rid of some of them. Go. Get them out of here. Even though they're not even due to be euthanized. I believe that. That shelter isn't big enough to hold, how many? Well, how many do you think? 20? If that much?
Yeah, maybe more.
No, I mean, look at how small that place was. How many cages? Those cages were huge.
Oh, yeah, they had at least about 20 cages.
Yeah, okay. Well, cages. 20. All right.
Some of them were empty, though, at that time we went, so.
Some of them were empty with stuff in it.
Yeah, it hasn't been cleaned.
Yeah, they hadn't been cleaned yet. The place didn't smell like it was clean. Of course, when I got there yesterday to pick up my money, which, by the way, they're going to send me in a check in 2 weeks. Now I got to go and cash that check and pay $5. So I already lost $5. Out of my $50, I lose $5. This is nothing but a losing proposition over here with that freaking shelter. And nobody's going to refund the money that I paid for the medicine from the dog. And nobody's going to pay me for the food and other stuff, although, once I get another dog, I'll have some food for it already.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, you know, you can't win in this freaking hellhole place. Yeah. But at least I got the word out. I humiliated them in front of the public. I showed that, in fact, you know, they have a sloppy system there. This is once again a big to-do because they just had this last year and they put down double the amount of dogs that they did this time around.
That's true.
You know?
Very true.
And we'll see what happens. But them Gators go good with my lime green leisure suit. Okay, Rocco.
Yeah, there was some other news. Says the GBI calling Pulaski County deaths a murder-suicide. The GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, says 2 people were found dead in Pulaski County this past weekend. Friday night were killed in an apparent murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Special Agent Todd Lauer says a man and a woman were found at a home on Riverview Road just south of Hawkinsville. The GBI is waiting for confirmation from its crime lab before releasing the identities of the victim and accused killer.
Wow. Mm-hmm. No? Murder-suicide.
Yeah, murder-suicide.
Well, yeah, all right. So which one is it?
Well, obviously the person murdered someone first and then killed himself.
Oh, okay. Is that how it worked?
Yeah.
If not, it was suicide murder.
Well, it would just be suicide. Once your kids say you can't kill nobody else, you know.
Well, maybe somebody commits suicide. The person goes in there so upset that they kill themselves too. Then it would be a suicide murder, no? I'm just saying. Anyway. Let me see. Got any zombie shit down there? Actually, it's funny that you asked that, Autograph Hound. They do more zombie movies in this freaking hellhole than they do anything else. I think they did, a couple of zombie movies here, no?
Yeah, we did.
Well, which other ones? Walking Dead is one that they do
Walking
in Georgia.
Dead, that's in Atlanta, near
Atlanta, but they also shot here in Macon.
Yeah, they had another movie that I think Terrell Sandiford was part of it for Sochi Gallery, was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sochi Gallery. Terrell Sandiford. Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. Rocco, Lord, Irvis from Brooklyn, that's the way they are. That's the way they are about what? Rocco. Parvo and rabies will start zombie outbreak. Yes. That's true.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Let me see. I'm staying in the South, LOL. Yes, Ellen, I'm staying here too. I guess I'm stuck here. Because let me tell you, I don't want to go back to New York. Yeah, I don't want to go back to New York. I don't want to go back to New York because New York, number one, and now they got all these freaky people that are running and
plus now they got this drinking this with a cup this size would be illegal in New York because it's 24.
I know you didn't mean any harm, Rocco. I love you, Rocco. Don't worry about it.
32 ounce.
The sequel to The Walking Dead is the humans will be after the zombie. Yeah. That's true. He says the sequel to The Walking Dead is the humans will be after the zombie. And the humans are worse than the zombies. You know, the poor zombies are just hungry.
Yeah.
You know?
That's probably true. Speaking of zombieism, qualifying for BIB elections will be sooner than expected.
Yeah. A bunch of zombies are running in this freaking hellhole.
Candidates now have less time to qualify since the Macon BIB Board of Elections moved up the qualifying dates from August to July 22nd through July 24th at the Board of Elections headquarters. The board also authorized County Attorney Virgil Adams to seek a consent order from that would establish September 17th as the election day, meaning October 15th or December 3rd would be used for runoff elections. District 4 Commission candidate Mallory Jones says there's still a state of confusion surrounding the changes and will keep his lawsuit against the board on the table until a judge validates the request. Consolidated government is set to begin on January 1st.
Wow, okay, well, it's consolidated government. I'm excited about it because it's kind of a fresh start for this rat hole of a place. But already, I mean, they're all confused about what's going on and how to do it and this and that. We'll see what happens. But that's why I'll be running in the next election, not this one, but the next one, because I wanted to see, first of all, how well... I mean, this is just one of the reasons why I dropped out. It was because I was like, well, wait a minute. They don't even know what they're doing. I don't want to go into all this confusion. I want to go into, if I'm going to run, I want to go into a stable situation. It's already crazy here. Without, me stepping on people's toes and I realize, I'm not supposed to do that and getting sued left and right. I want to know what the parameters are, what the borderline issues are, and go from there. So I said, let somebody else mess up, and I'll come back and run in the next run for making bib. I don't know what. Maybe it's going to be a county commissioner, because I'm not going to run for mayor.
Yeah.
I don't want that job. Too much.
Yeah, too much work. It's too much stuff you have to talk about and stuff and throw back. Yeah, because you'll be too busy giving the people the finger all the time. Yeah, forget you. Yeah. But speaking of giving the finger, Warner Robins Company faces OSHA violations after worker loses a finger.
Somebody just said that. Let me just see. He says, Earl, did you hear? I walked up to a zombie, gave him the finger, and said, eat me, and he did. So, speaking of which, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration cited Ardagh Glass of Warner Robins for safety violations after a worker was injured on the plant. According to a release from OSHA, a worker suffered an amputated finger and a crushed hand while removing a glass mold from a bottle-shaping machine.
Yeah.
The company was cited for one willful and one serious safety violation. The willful violation involves failing to develop and use lockout, tagout procedures when workers are performing service and setup operations on equipment. It also defines as one committed with intentional, knowing, or voluntary disregard for the law, or with plain indifference to worker and safety health. The serious violations involves failing to ensure that workers operating equipment were protected to prevent contact with moving parts and molten glass. A serious violation is also defined when there is substantial probability that death or serious physical harm could result from a hazard the employee knew or should have known about. And Ardagh Glass could face fines up to $77,000. It already has 15 business days to correct the issues, or request a conference with OSHA, or contest the findings. It's really kind of messed up in a way because, $77,000. If I don't know why one person, I don't know if he actually did it on purpose, maybe to get workman's comp, I don't know. But the guy basically tried to remove a glass mold from a bottle shaping machine. Don't they know that those glasses are like well over several hundred degrees?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, okay? Company I used to work for, we had it's called lockout, tagout. In other words, you're working on a piece of equipment, wherever the power source is, you put it in this little box, lock it, okay? And you're responsible for it. Nobody can plug that thing in. And a lot of people that work for me, I was a supervisor, I had to write them up all the time because they weren't following procedure. They're too lazy to, and sometimes it's hard to troubleshoot equipment, and you got to keep plugging it back in and all that. So that's how that shit happens.
Yeah, they don't follow the protocol.
Suffered because of it.
We have the same problem. I mean, employees get so caught up in their job. Sometimes they're thinking about family, or they're thinking about going on a vacation. Or they're thinking about I can't wait for lunch.
Smoking that blunt at lunch.
Yeah, or exactly. Or, who the hell knows what they're running through their head. Meanwhile, they're on a job in a very dangerous machine. And they're thinking about something else. And it happens. Especially when, some of these workers don't really have a life. It's not like they're really well trained in their brain to tell it to shut up, focus. Instead, they're blabbering on in their brains, thinking about whatever.
Right.
And they lose sight of it. Listen, it happened all the time. It happened all the time. We always had issues with our employees. Whether it was, the leak on the floor and they slipped and fell and pretended that they were hurt so they can get a couple of weeks off with pay. We had that shit happen all the time. A couple of times, anyway. I had another employee that was insisting that there was a needle. This was when I was in the hospital, and we did the laundry on the inside. one of the employees stuck his hand. This is like right after 9/11. So, I mean, you know, it was pretty scary time.
Yeah.
And actually, it happened right after, if you remember, the needles were being thrown around with anthrax on it, that kind of shit. And I had these employees going absolutely crazy on me, saying, "Oh, I got pricked with a needle." I said, "Look, you prick. How do you know it was a needle?" I mean, I'm trying to like protect the company, right? How do you know it was a needle? Did you find it? They said, "No, we couldn't find it," and this and that, but it was a needle. It was a needle. So I had to put that guy literally, so help me God, on 2 weeks out with pay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I insisted that he get an HIV/AIDS test because he kept saying, "Oh, I think I got AIDS. I think I got AIDS." All right. Well, if you think you got AIDS, you're gonna need to come back with some paperwork showing that you went to the hospital to get an HIV test. Go to the doctor. So, anyway.
Wow.
Let me see. Michelle says, "I worked at a Waffle King." I never heard of Waffle King.
Probably like a Waffle House.
Yeah, probably. And a woman was carrying a heavy pan of hot grease outside and slipped on the rainwater and burnt herself really bad. Melted her skin and she piss tested dirty and got nothing. Wow, that's terrible. Not only does she have a face like
the Crypt
like
Keeper.
like a monster.
Like a Nazi in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, exactly.
It's melted. Yeah.
Oh well. Now she got a waffle face. That's what it is. How's that?
Yeah,
you know, it's got the
waffle
pop
face.
on or whatever. Anyway, so too bad. That's what happened. Don't walk around with a pot of grease if you're high.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
I
Anyway,
wouldn't.
let me see. What else? A couple more. Let me see. I worked for the Vets Administration years and was only piss tested once. All right. Well, they were afraid of you pulling out your schlong in front of them. That's what it was, Rocco. Anyway, LOL. Parties should be ovaries. What?
It's talking about her doctor.
Oh, okay. Lord Lycan says they piss tested a guy at work for getting a bit by a spider. What the F does he have to do with anything? That's funny.
Yeah, I guess.
What does that point have to do with anything?
I have no idea, but
spider and move on. All right. Well, I think I got bit by a spider. By the way, look. Oh.
Yeah, I've been.
You've been spider bitten too.
Yeah, back in the 3rd grade.
Yes, Plastic Canvas, we love you.
Maybe he was going to play with a spider. You know, people that get stoned, they get kind of goofy and shit.
Yeah.
Start playing with shit. Maybe he was playing with the spider, you know, got bit.
That could happen.
I said schlong, Rocco.
I had some.
All right, go ahead.
some
What do we
news,
got? Speaking of schlongs.
Well, Ramadan begins in Central Georgia. Thanks, sir.
Right.
Yes, in Central Georgia, across the world, Muslims are beginning to observe the holy month of Ramadan. Ramadan is the biggest holiday of the Islamic calendar because Islam uses a lunar calendar. Ramadan falls at different times each year, and this year it began on Monday at sundown. The holiday marks the revelation, the revelation of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. It says it's very important to us, explains Imam Zarif Shamsi Din of the Majid Warat Din Muhammad Mosque on Bloomfield Road in Macon. It says Muslims observe Ramadan by fasting every day for a month from sunrise to sunset. During the day, they must abstain from sex, food, and water. The biggest struggle is the abstinence from water because it does get hot here in Georgia, says Leo Glover Muhammad from Macon. It says, but they must say fasting teaches them both discipline and how to be compassionate toward others by making them feel what those less fortunate go through. 2010 study shows that Bibb and Houston counties have 3 Muslim congregations with a total of 1,600 members. Many of those in Central Georgia are African Americans who converted to Islam. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims also read 1/30 of the Quran every day, so that by the end of the month, they'll have read the whole thing. They also celebrate at the end of Ramadan with a feast and presents.
Yeah,
So,
good luck to them. It's nice to know that we have them.
Something Glover? What was his first
But,
Leo Glover. Yeah, I think
What was
it's
his first name? Glover.
Leo.
Leo Glover.
right.
Yeah.
Well, this Ramadan.
I think that's. I want to say that's.
That's
Cheryl Davis.
Yeah. That's what the name is. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody made comment about Mos Def. What a horrible, stupid ass name that is for a rapper.
Well, it's short for
like he comes out of the mother's womb and this is the Mos Def thing that's ever happened to me.
No, Mos Def is like an abbreviated version of most definitely.
He's most definitely a moron because he gets on and now he's trying. He can't make it with music. So now he goes on and makes this video about how they're being force fed in Guantanamo Bay. Like, who gives a shit? What's up with you, sir? I mean, all of a sudden you're so freaking important that you got to show this to people, and then you're an ugly son of a bitch to begin with.
Is he
watching somebody shove something up your nose? Look at that thing.
Oh yeah,
like a monster.
Yeah, I was gonna try to see if I.
The only good thing that he's call him Moshe Frankenstein. That guy's as ugly as a.
It's for you, Irv.
Well,
It's always for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if we can.
Well, guess what? We got Halo. Good morning. What's going on? I'm on the show. What's up, Ian? Hold on a second. I'm going to put you on speaker. Hold on. This is Anthony Harris, a.k.a. Ant, on the show. Go ahead, Ant.
Hey, so what happened with the news last night concerning your press conference service? I didn't see it.
It looked pretty good on video. I think they splice it and dice it, and you could spend an hour. This is worse than they do in the movies. You do all this take and all this shit, and then they cut it all out and they put 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But they did show my indignancy, and I guess if that's a word. And then what they did with MAZ, which is kind of weird, they actually took Joe Allen and they made him like the centerpiece of the second story. Like my press conference didn't exist. It was just Joe Allen.
Well, remember I told you MAZ's like that.
Yeah, and that's okay.
I thought they were the worst ones that covered my little announcement out of the three. Because they kind of, you can tell they kind of twisted their way.
Yeah.
So, well, that's good. At least
it's good. I mean, we got a point across, and of course, a lot of the rescue workers didn't show, and they were all hitting on each other. Why didn't you show? And we'll see what happens. But somebody's saying good morning, Mr. Mayor to B. And by the way, we got a guy named Will Irv Shoot Me as a name. Would you believe this? See what you're missing out on, Ant?
That's from your comment yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think...
Yeah, Michelle Stacy says that you sound sexy.
Yeah, she says you sound sexy, Ant.
Yeah. Derek, what happened with your audition?
I think it really came out really well. I mean, it was as you know, it was a long drive. It was a 5-hour drive, about just roughly 300 miles, and basically, it's audition. It was for a commercial that's supposed to have Cam Newton in it. It's supposed to air all over North Carolina.
Yeah.
I guess about health and whatever. I probably won't know until maybe tomorrow. If so, they have a call back on July the 12th and the 13th, basically Friday. So I may have to go get called back either on Friday or Saturday. I hope it will be Saturday because we won't have a show. So.
Oh
well.
Well,
it was quick though. It was quick. I went. It was due. I had to be there at 6:30.
Ain't that a bitch? You travel all that way and it was quick.
Yeah, it was. I was.
It's like going all the way in Texas and then it's quickie. You go.
Yeah, I was there like 6:30. I was there at 6:30 and I was done at 6:45. And then, I had nowhere else to go. I didn't bump into Ric Flair, Nature Boy, since he's from Charlotte. So I just might as well drove back home. I got back like about 1:45 till midnight. So.
By the way, Michelle Stacy says she wants to have your love child, Anthony. Let me see. What else is going on? They said Anthony, the third leg of the stool. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
We just showed a picture of
The stool sample.
yeah, a stool sample with a big pill bottle with stool in it. And she said, "Oh, I think I'm in love."
Oh hell.
Let me see. Autograph Hound says human centipede. I guess he's talking about you, Ant. And then Rocco says, Irv, I keep the news clip of you and make it into a remake of Little Caesar movie.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Yeah, Little Caesar, yeah.
So Derek, what did you do with the audition?
Would you believe that's what they called me?
Oh, really? Little Caesar?
Yeah, that's what they call me in the hotels. Whoever,
You look more like
Rocco.
You look more like Geppetto.
Yeah. Well,
No,
thank you.
Glad to play that.
I swear to God, they used to call me that.
What you said, Ant?
What'd you have to do with the audition? What'd you do in 15 minutes? Your 15 minutes of fame.
Well, basically, I just had to act like a dad.
That was hard, wasn't it?
No, yeah. Well, since I'm not really a dad per se, I basically had to be a dad in a family, and I guess that's when they have the callback because we want to know which, if I'm going to be a dad, I guess who's going to play my wife and my kids, because
By the way, speaking of wife and kids, Will Irv Shoot Me says, and Irv gonna shoot you too. Then it says, he says the same, Irv wants your love child. And then Ellen Macon says, true Irv, LOL. And then, let me see, Will Irv Shoot Me, Little Ant.
Hey.
Oh, well. What are you gonna do?
I wanted to talk about.
We got a bunch of trolls still hanging around.
Hey, something else I want to talk about. You guys, I don't know if you talked about it. Did you see on the news where they wanted to, they're trying to now move the qualifying date to July 22nd,
Yes.
24th?
They moved it back.
Back to what?
They moved it back to July. I'll find out. It's in July.
22nd to the 24th is what
that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought that was mighty strange because the guy that bitched and whined about it, that Mallory Jones, he was the one that tried to put in a lawsuit concerning that, saying that he didn't want any more candidates to be able to qualify, and he was all complaining about it. If you remember, I wrote something on Facebook about it. It seems to me like one of the other mayoral candidates put him up to it. They just didn't want their name connected with it, so they put him up to it. Well, the funny thing about it is if they were trying to catch me in that deadline, they missed their chance because I just mailed off my paperwork to the ethics committee, which makes it 2 weeks. Makes it post-dated 2 weeks before the final new qualifying day, which is July 24th. And I was told you have to have it to them, 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
So it was perfect because if I had not seen that news footage, then I wouldn't have known that they moved it up to the 22nd to the 24th. I would have thought it was still the 5th to the 7th of August. So now I have to have my write-in ad in the paper. That has to be in there at least 7 days before qualifying. So now I'm going to end up putting my ad in like the next 2 days, and it'll be within that before 7 days, or longer than 7 days before qualifying. I just thought it was interesting because the minute I saw that, I thought, they're trying their damnedest to keep anybody else out of it. I could tell. And I thought, same old bullshit. So.
Well, here's the thing, Ant. There's so much shit going down. You had the head of the Democratic Party,
right,
resigned, Steve Allen, and then Fred Swan resigned, and so you got two people in the Democratic Party that resigned already.
Right.
It seems to be falling apart. Nobody knows where the hell they're going with any of this shit.
No,
it's not surprising that the head of the Board of Election would change the date, because now that the so-called the civil rights law that was in place here where this government here in Georgia had to check in with the federal government before they made any changes to the election laws. Now that they have, freedom to do whatever the hell they want, they're obviously taking liberty and just screwing this whole shit up as much as they can. To kind of like stretch their arms out and feel like they important by changing the rules of the road in the last minute. This is ridiculous because here you are driving down, let's just say there's a road. You're driving down, let's say, Highway Macon, and all of a sudden there's a roadblock, and then all of a sudden you fall off a cliff because you don't even know where the hell this road leads to. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing here.
Right.
And that's been the problem. They didn't know before, now they know. And by the way, you heard that poor Danny, got fined $1,000 and change.
Yeah,
a year probation.
Yeah.
And community service. I mean, they know what to do with a guy like that, but they sure as hell don't know what to do with other guys that are doing worse. Worse.
Right.
I
thought of a new plan last night, and I'm gonna talk to David Kuzno about it. I want to try, and I want to see if he'll work with me. I want to try our damnedest to make us two be the final two that run off. That'd be absolutely hilarious if we can get the most votes. Nobody, of course, wins it outright because that's not going to happen. Everybody's going to have below 50% of the vote. But if I can get Kuzno and me to have the most, and then we run off, imagine the uproar in this city. That'd be absolutely funny and hilarious as shit.
Well, I think this whole town is just, that's why I'm glad I kind of dropped out because, besides the fact that I just, didn't have really all the money together on time, what I thought was, now that they opened up, who knows, maybe I could have come back and done it, but I always felt after I made that decision, I said, well, I ain't got the money really to pony up this $450, which turned out to only be $400. But then I thought, you know what? This freaking place is so confused. They don't even know how this government's going to run. They don't know who's going to what and how many terms. I said, let somebody else deal with this shit, and then I'll come around when it's all kind of stabilized and run again, and then I'll know what the hell I'm getting into. But right now, nobody knows what they're getting into. I mean, God only knows what the mayor is going to be given now that he's taking over not only his position as mayor, but he's going to be taking over the chairman of the commissioners, and that's a lot of crap on your plate. You know what I mean?
It is. It is.
And the way people are here, they're so freaking ungrateful that Jesus Christ would have been stoned to death here. This place is just too crazy. People criticize everybody, and of course we're ones that criticize for what is right. But there are people that criticize when they do right. They still say, oh, well, he's just being this and he's being that, and he's doing it at the last minute or whatever. You know how that is. You know?
Well, I think you should have run again, Irvin. You should have run. You should have at least gone in as a write-in. It wouldn't have cost you anything.
Well, you never know. I mean, I got a lot of good free publicity yesterday. The last couple of days.
Is that footage online from yesterday?
Say again?
Yeah.
Is the footage online?
Yeah.
The news from yesterday. Is it
South 41 and WMAZ.
Yeah, 41 and MAZ. The MAZ one was really more about talking to, on the second round, it was talking to, what's his name?
Joel. Yeah, Joel.
Oh, okay.
And then 41 did the best out of all of them, I think. 24 did a good job as well when they did me the day before. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it sounds to me they didn't, MAZ just didn't want to give you or Kuzno any time because they just don't, they think you guys are wacky, I think.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they do come out every time I call them, though.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They do, but they're MAZ is in so many people's pockets in this town.
Yeah.
They're so controlled by that old money. That's why they stay at the top of the ratings because they're always always going to be at the top of the ratings because all the old guard is in love with them. So.
Yeah, well, it's the goody two-shoes news.
It is.
You know,
and I'm out of here.
You know, I like, out of all of them, I like the 41. I don't know why. They just always seem to be a lot clearer.
Yeah, they are. They did a good job. They do.
Yeah. So anyway, the video is up and it's probably on YouTube, and it'll be on our Morning Roast site and so on and so on. And now, when are you coming in? I want you to come in and do a promo on yourself. Come in with your top hat and all that shit.
I'll arrange it when I get my signs. I should have.
Yeah, that would be great.
Next week. I already turned them in to be made. So you're gonna love them. You're gonna love them. I'm not gonna tell you what I did with them, but it has all sorts of symbolism in it. It's basically, in a nutshell, it represents me in a sign. It's got the German flag. It's got the three colors in the background of the German flag. So it's got the black, red, and yellow. And then in each section of those colors, it has lettering. In the top section, the lettering is red. In the middle section, the lettering is white. And in the bottom section, the lettering is blue. And then the top says, in red lettering, write in ant. The middle section, in white lettering, says Anthony B. Harris. And then the bottom section, in blue lettering, except for the A in mayor. The A in mayor is an anarchy symbol, a red anarchy symbol, but the lettering in the bottom is blue. So it's got the German flag on it, it's got the red, white, and blue of America, and it's got the anarchy symbol.
Wow. Now, let me ask you a question. Could you put this, are you going to put this on your Facebook? I mean, the picture of what you're describing?
Yeah. Well, see, about 2 weeks ago, I drew it. I actually drew it out on a piece of paper and colored it. And then I took that to Vital Signs, who's doing my signs, took it to them and said, here's what I want my sign to look like. I want these colors. I want this anarchy symbol in the A of mayor. I want the red, white, and blue lettering. I want the German flag on the background. And I said, can you do that? The guy's like, yeah, that's no problem. I said, it's double-sided, right? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, the reason I didn't show my rough sketch is because I didn't want to, just kind of give it away until I actually had my signs in my hand. Then when I get my actual sign, I'm going to hold it up and get a picture of me holding it up, and I'm going to put it on the Facebook page. And then you're going to start seeing them everywhere. So.
All right. Well, good luck with everything. I appreciate you showing up yesterday.
Yeah. And
that was a good rebel look.
Yeah. And the thing about it, see, the sign is going to catch your eye. That's the whole thing about these signs. They have to be loud and gaudy and colorful and just kind of wacky looking, in my opinion. I mean, that was what the Sex Pistols had the idea with when they did that album cover for Nevermind the Bullets. The Sex Pistols, the whole idea of that cover was they made it look as gaudy and ugly as hell because they knew it would grab someone's eyesight when they walked by the record in the record store. It would attract their attention. So the sign, believe me, the sign looks really crazy because the mix of colors almost don't match. But yet it all is symbolic of me. So you'll see, and I'll get you one, Irvin. You can hang it outside your house.
Absolutely. I expect to have it hung out as soon as possible.
Right. And I'm going to hold them up all over. I've already got it planned. I'm going to spend a few mornings outside of WPGA when they do Meth in the Morning. I'm going to go out there around the time they do their show, and I'm going to walk on the sidewalk right near their show on Forsyth when it's real busy in the morning. People are going to work, and I'm going to stand walking back and forth in front of their studio holding that sign.
Yeah, by the way, Rick is stolen our idea of having three people. He seems to always have a third person there now.
Oh, yeah, they did. They stole that. They stole that idea. They did. All right, guys, take care.
Thank you, Ed. Make sure you stop by with your sign and your look and the whole 9 yards. Bring your pink jacket as well.
Have a good day.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Love you.
Okay.
All right, there you have it, Anthony Harris. Good to have you back on the show. What the hell? Anyway, a lot going on in this town. I love it.
I think it's time for a break.
Oh, is it already?
Yeah.
Shit, that's quick.
Yeah.
All right, we're going on break, right, Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we'll be right back. You're watching the Morning Roast with Irv and Ed. 75 degrees outside in Macon, Georgia. It's cloudy with the high of 87.
Look at that song, Derek.
And hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. We'll be right. It's gonna be some scattered showers.
Lucky bastard.
And thunderstorms. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Well, if it seems too good to be true,
Hey,
well, there's
Burfish.
a good chance that it just might be. An East Tennessee man learned that lesson the hard way.
All right, so police say a skinny dipper distracted him so much that he didn't realize he was being burglarized. And let's get over to Ann now. She's got more on what happened. So walk us through this one.
All right, yeah, the poor guy. The victim had thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, medication, and guns stolen from his home, and police say it was because of this. You see the headline, Nude Woman Distracts Tennessee Man as His Home is Burglarized. So they say it was due to a naked lady swimming in the victim's backyard. The story out of Crossville this morning. The victim, who is 54, told CNHI News Service that a couple who apparently lives close by to him shows up to his home. They ask to use the pool, but right away the lady asked her significant other to go back to their house to go get some cigarettes. So that left the victim and the naked lady alone. She takes off her clothes, goes swimming in the victim's pool, and that keeps the victim distracted for about 20 minutes. Well, the lady, she leaves, the victim goes back into his home, realizes, oh, all my stuff's gone. It would appear that her husband or boyfriend actually went into the victim's home while the skinny dipping was going on outside. This morning, police still looking for that couple with that interesting scheme. Ian and Holly.
Okay, so wait, did they know one another, or was this just a random person showing up saying, can we use your pool?
You know, that's the thing we can't really tell. I was reading through the article this morning. It comes from this news service in East Tennessee. It says that they lived close by, and that came from the victim, so it would appear maybe they knew each other, but that's a little unclear this morning.
That's a new one. Naked woman in the backyard distracting the person so the guy can rob the house. I don't know.
That's a crazy story.
I want to take you up to Quebec, where an engine shutdown may be the cause of a freight train derailment and massive explosion. At least 5 people were killed. About 40 people remain unaccounted for this morning. CNN's Paula Newton is live in Lac-Mégantic, Canada, with more. Paula, what do we know?
Chris, the big thing now is that those tankers full of crude oil have finally been extinguished. This means investigators can move in and unfortunately start the grim work of looking for the missing. For too many, there was simply no escape. An inferno so intense it incinerated everything in its path. Minutes before, the unmanned runaway train pulling 72 tankers filled with crude oil went careening into the town of Lac-Mégantic. It derailed with unimaginable consequences. Earth-shaking explosions followed, the fire burning for a full 36 hours. The devastation was apocalyptic, the silence ominous. There was no word of sons and daughters who never made it home, friends and family that, yes, vanished. Town officials say some were likely vaporized by the sheer intensity of the blaze.
Of course, we are working hand in hand with the coroner's office and with the victim unit from Sûreté du Québec to talk with the families. All of the bodies were transported to the Montreal forensics to be expertised.
The fire utterly consumed the very heart of this town in every way. Waiting for word of the missing has been excruciating.
We're numb. We're just numb.
Canada's Prime Minister Stephen Harper toured the devastation and foreshadowed the grim news that is sure to come.
But I know there's going to be waves of emotion over the next few weeks as the extent of this, and this is a very big disaster in human terms, as the extent of this becomes increasingly obvious.
What's not obvious is the Montreal, Maine, and Atlantic Railway Company based in the United States. They're saying, look, we don't know what happened here, but most likely there was some kind of brake failure. Obviously, you have this train careening into a small town, You know, Kate and Chris, these small towns, these junctions, all the way in North America, U.S., Canada, I mean, this train was headed into the United States. A lot of questions about rail safety and the safety of those tankers, how quickly they can leak or explode. A lot more crude petroleum products moving around our two countries. All right.
If you're going to take a shower, I would bring some foot soap.
Are you bringing a shower?
This will be a YouTube sensation.
Wow.
And we are back. We are back.
How was that all about?
The world's funniest laugh.
Oh.
Crazy laugh. Shoot, I don't think it's not as crazy as that 100-year-old chick that was being interviewed.
How you get, can you, baby? Yeah, how you ain't the boy? Stop imitating me, will you, Craig? Oh, by the way.
It's 77 degrees in Macon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cloudy with some thunderstorms with a high 87, low 72. We're into the nut house. The nut house, the dog house, in the second hour of the morning roast with Irv, Ed, and D. Beer.
Wow. Speaking of that, by the way, you know, yesterday, I can't remember this woman's name. She got a show on, Ann, whatever. One on CNN. The pretty one that's always on there.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron Burnett.
Burnett.
Yeah, Carol Burnett's daughter. Well, who the?
Sort of.
She's related. How many Burnetts do you know? I'm saying Burnett, not Brunette.
Oh, Brunette.
Yeah.
I know three.
Yeah.
I know maybe one, two.
I don't really know any Burnett's. But anyway, this Aaron Burnett had a discussion on the Asiana flight crew because they're looking at the reason why this plane crashed was because of the cultural problems that some of these Korean pilots have. That in the Korean culture, there is a hierarchy that's going on there, and this is prevalent in their society, and I've seen it for myself, believe me. When I was in New York and I was in dry cleaning, I worked for a lot of Korean people. And the old man could be as dumb as a frickin' brick, but they still gave him allegiance because he was the old man. Like, who gives a shit that he's not even making any sense?
Well, this
and that he's constantly cooking rice that smells like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Derek, stop biting your nails.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll have to get some.
Yeah, go ahead, Derek. You were gonna say.
But you know, I was gonna say it's kind of like that in some places in corporate America. Like a woman could be like have like 2 master's degrees and stuff, but the CEO could have like be toothless and have a GED. And
hanging. No, I'm serious. What's happening is that the pilots, according to this report that Ms. Burnett put out,
the landing gear hit what do they call it, a jetty or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're blaming it on the machinery, but now what they're really looking at, exactly experience, they're looking at the pilots and the way that they do not really even talk to each other because of they're afraid to speak up because of this cultural bullshit that's going on with them, which I have seen happen for myself. I've seen this happen. It's kind of like here in Macon. Everybody's afraid to speak up. It happens in all cultures, but especially in the Korean culture and in the Asian culture, where they have a lot of respect for their elders. Like Americans don't give a shit anymore about elders. They don't care. They go, Mango, grandma. Go put the last nail in your coffin, grandpa. They don't give a shit. People don't care about their elders anymore. But then there's the other extreme, where they give too much of a shit about what the elders are saying. And in this specific case,
like how big your thing is if you have that 100-year-old grandmother.
Yeah, I know. She could poison the food that you so love to eat.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm serious. They do. By the way, yes, they do. You know, even rice. Like, how the hell do you make rice smell bad? Well, somehow rice smells bad when it's cooked by them. Not gonna be racial here, but it is. It really is. It smells like feet. Anyway, you know what feet smells like when you run into a locker room? That's what it smells like.
Mold feet.
Yeah, moldy, whatever. Anyway, so that's one of the problems they believe they have, is this cultural difference. The pilot wasn't, you know, he was there, Mr. Elder, and the other people were afraid to talk to him, and nobody was working together. They just like, one guy had his own brain over here, and they're supposed to be working cohesively. So now they're going to be looking at that. See if they can fix that problem. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Good luck, because now that hey, Saibuki's here.
That's Saibuki, how you doing? Long time no chat.
Yeah. And, you know, they're looking at that because that may be a problem.
Yes. Speaking of problem, I guess a crime. This is local news. A man caught with a purse stolen at downtown Macon bar. This is from Liz Fabian from the Macon Telegraph. A Macon police bike officer found a robbery suspect hiding behind a trash bin in a downtown Macon establishment early Sunday morning. Joseph Jermaine Tanner, age 35, of Mumford Road, was arrested at 1:20 a.m. Sunday morning and was charged with robbery by sudden snatching after a purse was taken from the back of a bar stool at Foul Play at 580 Cherry Street downtown, according to a news release from MPD, Macon Police Department. Officers warned downtown patrons to keep their belongings in their sight and secure. And it says interim police chief Mike Carswell said, unfortunately, there are criminals who take advantage of trusting or unsuspecting people.
Purse snatching. Well, I mean, you know what? I mean, why do women even carry purses?
They carry this.
I mean, they carry so much shit in them. All you need is a few dollars in your pocket, maybe a little ID. You can stick that shit in your boobs. Unless you're flat-chested like a boy.
Flat-chested, yeah. You pretty much have to carry just like a wallet, like dudes do.
Or carry a money belt.
Yeah.
You know.
But speaking of, I guess, speaking of breaking in, there was a guy who was trying to try to break into a prison.
Now that, my friends, is what I call stupid.
Yes, very. This is in Pittsburgh.
Sonification.
There has never been a break-in at Allegheny County Jail until last Thursday. It says, go back and read that sentence. You don't hear that many break-ins in jail. According to CBS Pittsburgh, the incident happened at the employee entrance at Western Pennsylvania Jail around 10 p.m. Last week. Police say that 73-year-old Dwayne Hickman of Pittsburgh, 73-year-old Dwayne Hickman of Pittsburgh, who they also say was clearly intoxicated, tried to break in at the employee entrance to the jail, and that he tried to follow a nurse as she came to work. The incident report describes as police officers were dispatched by county communications to Allegheny County Jail for a male who was breaking into the jail.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Well, as Boogie says, it's got to be easier than breaking out.
Well, yeah, obviously. It says.
So I guess he wound up going home like a chicken in a
hen house,
going back to his coop.
Yeah, I guess it says where did he think he was going to go when he got into jail? Asked Dave Hunter, who was there visiting a friend, which heard about the break-in. It says, odd and comical as it may sound, police weren't laughing. They said the suspect Hickman had 2 knives in his pants when he was arrested, and that he tried to attack a police sergeant. And as a result of his reverse jailbreak, Hickman faces charges including aggravated assault, criminal trespass, and public drunkenness.
Wow.
Barry Leibowitz from CBS News.
Well, somebody's asking where Zappa 1 says, where can I go get organic, I think, Vaseline?
How the hell a health food store.
Yeah, health food
I'm
store.
sure
Yeah.
there's
Food stores. Organic Vaseline.
Yeah,
isn't that an
again,
oxymoron? Because
yeah,
it's a petroleum jelly. I mean, how,
yeah, exactly.
how organic
It
can
can't
you
be
get it?
both. Zappa. Anyway, what else did he ask for? Said one guy looked like a brat one with 12 holes in it, and he peed and leaked all over, pukes. You people are having such incredible conversations. I don't know what to say.
Let him carry
All
on.
of this intelligent shit going
Just
on.
give him the
around.
news.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what else is in the news, Derek?
Oh yeah, good thing. Thanks, Ed. You know the Twinkie is coming back stronger than before. In fact, so strong that it has a longer shelf life now.
I heard. What's going on with that?
They upgraded the shelf life of the Twinkies from 23 to 45 days.
Unfreaking believable. So it can outlast like a nuclear bomb now.
Well, I don't know about a nuclear bomb, but it probably could stay on. Basically, you could buy it 3 weeks later. I guess you could eat it for 3 weeks longer.
Wow.
Be in your refrigerator if it could last. If you can make it last that long.
Twinkies doesn't have any taste to me. I swear to God, it's a sponge cake filled with icing, and it doesn't taste good. It's kind of those Peeps, you know, the Peeps.
Oh, the
little
chickens,
marshmallow Peeps.
The marshmallow chips.
Yeah, they have some flavor to them, but I mean, it's not all that. People make such a big orgasmic cry over these things. Meanwhile, they're not even that great. They did the same shit with Twinkies. Like, everybody like loves Twinkie. Oh, I love Twinkie. How do you love something that you're not supposed to love? You can't love Twinkies. You like Twinkies. It goes back to misusing the word love. You got to love another person, a god, or even a dog you can love. But you can't love a cake. What are you going to do? Stick your penis inside a Twinkie?
Well, in the movie,
You never know.
in the movie American Pie, dude stuck his thing in a freaking apple pie. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
American Pie, which is kind of
Look
crazy.
at
I don't know how in the world that movie made money, but that's neither here nor there.
Life of Pie.
A whole other pie.
Moon pies. Yeah, Michelle. Moon pie. Yes, photo guy said, I love my penis. There you go. You can have it. If you want to eat it, go ahead. You know, I
love Little Debbie snack cakes, the oatmeal pies.
By the way, I knew a guy who was real good at being flexible. So help me, I'm not kidding you guys. This is a true story. Once again, one of these wacky stories that I have. So while I was, wearing my minister's hat one day, and I'm with a brother who's, came to me all depressed. And I said, what the hell's going on? And we sit down. I didn't say hell, but what's going on? We sat down and we're talking. And he says, I have to confess. I said, well, what do you confess? He goes, I gave myself a blowjob. I said, okay, how do you do that? Well, he was like a contortionist. Would you believe this?
Yeah.
People do this crap.
Yeah. I believe it.
Hey, Diaz, you like it so much. You ever do that?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Who the hell knows? But anyway, I didn't know what to say after that.
Wow.
Yeah, I said,
Earl, you definitely told the truth about that. Twinkies and bacon equals life.
There you go.
I don't know, man. If you could replace Twinkies with chocolate chip waffles, now you're talking. Okay.
Diaz says that he did try in his teen years. Oh wow. I bet you pulled your back and you decided not to do that. Let me see. I got a cream horn right here. There you go. I love this kind of talk. Anyway, it isn't racial.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah. For once, it's not.
Yeah. I don't like chocolate-covered cream horns. Yeah, right away, Michelle. You have to go racial.
This for the deep fried Twinkies are pretty. I don't know. Can you? I mean, I don't know. I tried to get away from fried foods. How do you eat a fried Twinkie? I mean, does it count? I mean, is it kind of like fried green tomatoes? Is it kind of crispy tasting? You know, is it kind of crispy tasting than having a fried Twinkie?
I heard about fried Twinkies, but how do you fry a Twinkie? You throw them in a vat with oil? I mean, it's awful, no?
Yeah.
What's that all about? It sucks up all that grease. When you bite into it, it squirts out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, it's starting to sound like something else. All right. I don't like chocolate either that much, Michelle. Let me see. Yeah, why no chocolate cream in Twinkies or strawberry? Because they're made by wild people. Come together, wild people.
Earl Big's guitar. Rachel, why the Twinkie cream gotta be white?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, man! Y'all starting
chocolate Twinkie.
Made me start to think to myself.
If they make a chocolate Twinkie, it wouldn't be known as Twinkie.
I know.
It'd be known as chocolate slonging.
Oh no.
Slonging.
See, trying to find racism in
chocolate slonky.
You know, so I'm trying to find racism in food, like Warren Hutchinson. See, the black olives in a can.
Yeah.
Green olives not in a can. Green olives in a jar. They want to lock those black olives up. See.
Oh yeah. By the way, why do they have brown eggs separated from white eggs? Why can't they mix them up?
Oh no, I guess it's segregation. See, there you go.
Yeah, it's called aggregation.
Yeah, aggregation. Now, what's next? You're going to have to find what racism in animals and stuff.
Listen.
I guess birds got to be the most racist animals on Earth because they're the only animals on Earth where their crap comes out white.
Well, there you go.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you take a look at the game of billiards. All right, is a white ball hitting all these colored balls?
Yes.
No, don't you see anything racial about that?
Yeah.
Take a look. Bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, black people are bowling. You know why? Because a black ball hitting a bunch of white pinheads.
Yeah, we're rednecks.
Oh, rednecks. You know that. Anyway, so there's our daily racist joke. That's all we got, folks.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of which, there was something in the news about this Dalton mayor is launched his bid to challenge Governor Deal. It says Dalton, Georgia Mayor David Pennington has launched his bid to challenge Governor Nathan Deal in 2014 Republican primary. I guess he's going to be running for running for governor next year.
Yeah.
And he says that yesterday.
Still Republican.
Yeah. He says that he has filled the necessary paperwork to become a candidate. Deal will be seeking a second term after defeating a crowded field of Republican candidates during the 2010 election. He's expected to campaign on his conservative stewardship of state finances and job growth. Pennington, in his announcement, took early aim at Deal, saying the state's economic performance is trailing the nation. Pennington touted his work as mayor of Dalton to reduce property taxes and license fees. Says on Monday, Deal reported that they raised $613,000 in campaign contributions since the first of the year and has roughly $1.1 million in cash for his re-election bid.
Well, one of the problems that the state of Georgia has is that you have a governor who has done more racist innuendo than anybody that I've ever seen, really, and get away with it. Well, just take a look. He has one guy on there that starts to badmouth gays. He badmouths black people. He badmouths everybody. And that is attributed to the governor. Because the governor's the guy that appointed his stupid ass. And then the governor himself didn't want to talk about that prom, that racially, segregated prom. I'm not going to get involved and all that other crap. Nobody wants to live in a place that they're going to feel like they're going to be ostracized and separated like cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody wants to live in it, but only a guy like me doesn't mind living in a hellhole like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love the state of Georgia, but man, it's got about 20 years behind on any kind of idea on what it is to be racially integrated. It's still got this mindset of segregation.
Mm.
You know, blacks over here, whites over here. Oh, by the way, Mexicans and anybody Latino, you have another place. Go back home.
Okay.
You know.
Speaking of more news from Governor Deal,
yeah.
He says that Governor Nathan Deal, this is from Atlanta, says Georgia should be cautious as regulators consider whether to expand solar energy usage. Governor Deal said yesterday, Tuesday, said he is wary of the government mandating what types of energy sources utilities use to meet demand.
Yeah.
Public Service Commissioner Lauren Bubba McDonald. Lauren, a woman named Bubba? Okay. She wants to vote Thursday on a plan that will require Southern Company subsidiary Georgia Power to use more solar power.
Yeah.
The Republican governor did not explicitly say whether he supports or opposes the plan. Instead, Dill told reporters that the state needs to be cautious, quote unquote. Dill says he thinks green energy comes with trade-offs on reliability and cost. Says a group of solar developers and several Tea Party leaders support the expansion plan. Americans for Prosperity has campaigned against it, saying that it will raise costs. I guess that's probably why. To be conscious.
Well, I didn't vote for Deal. I don't remember who I voted for, but it wasn't Deal. I know when Perdue was no easy code either. I mean, that guy, he wanted to put up the Confederate flag on the Capitol, if you remember. He had all these issues, And that's the thing about Georgia that's ironic is these people get away with this shit. They get on and they get in office and they spew all this racist innuendo and nobody cares. They just get away with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you go up in the north, you'll be annihilated.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to hear that kind of crap up in the north.
Yeah, I know. Because
even though they believe it, they themselves are quietly racist. But, up there, they don't really say that. God help you. You'll never make it as any kind of a candidate if you start bringing up racial nonsense. But here in the South, they don't care. They just say it.
Well, yeah, because they say it's part of the culture. I mean, granted,
you with the culture bullshit. Your culture sucks.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there are some racist areas outside the South, though. I mean, it's in some places it's really, really bad. But the thing is, at least they're not saying it's part of their culture.
Yeah.
And try to hype it up as it is. I mean, because I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the South because I'm born and raised in the South. I just have a problem with the Confederacy. I don't see how you could, celebrate something that you lost.
Yeah.
It was like Jim Kelly celebrating the time that he took, his team, the Buffalo Bills, to 4 Super Bowls in a row and lost all 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And try to justify that. Well, at least we got 4 in a row. It's the same thing here. Even though we lost, the war, the Confederacy, it's still part of our history. We have to respect it. Screw you. Yeah. I have to respect that.
Yeah, but see, even
respect that history.
Even still, they still downplay on the part that they lost. I mean, no one doesn't want to be reminded that they lost. I mean, like I said, like I was talking about Wimbledon. Yeah, is it just a coincidence that the Wimbledon championships always fall on the 4th of July weekend? Yeah. All the time because they don't want to be reminded that their biggest ally, United States, kicked their behind when they were a colony.
Well, even Black History Month, February, the shortest month in the year.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
You got shortchanged by 2 days.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, people don't want to be reminded. Like Buffalo, they have like banners that says 4-time AFC champions, not 4-time Super Bowl losers. It's. People don't want to be reminded because they know history is written.
History of losers, right?
Yeah, history is written by the victor, by the winner.
Exactly, but that's the point. Yeah, Michelle, that's the point that the so-called Southerners say. You know what? All right, the Confederacy, we lost and all that, but it's still part of history. We still have to respect it. Let's respect the fact that you guys, lost a war. You guys, wanted to enslave black people and beat the shit out of them and kill them and have them as cattle, chattel, and that you had no humanity and respect for other human beings. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the fact that you thought yourself higher than you are and you walk around saying that you're Christian. Meanwhile, you're violating every freaking law that God ever invented. You're all a bunch of freaking losers. That's what you are in the South. And then you want to make a big deal that, look at our cooking. Yeah, your cooking is killing half the people with all that greasy food and butter shit. You got rectal rockets just eating anything here. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. But at the same time, yeah, I love the South. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
It's got pretty flowers. It's got pretty flowers and grass and little hills, you know. Nice little houses, nice gigantic mansions that ought to be like taken over and made into like embassies. They're so freaking big, or hotels.
Yeah,
I mean, they got a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah, you are right. You are definitely right. The North hated blacks just as much. Well, yeah, they true. They just didn't. Yeah, at least the North didn't try to make it into a cultural thing. Like, woo, yeah, we hate them.
Rocco says, don't sugarcoat it. Have I sugarcoat that? Feels like I put some acid salt in there. Anyway, okay, so you hate Southerners, cops, jail guards, and people with a dog in them. Wow, so much hatred for someone that claims to be a Christian. Did I ever say hate? Did I?
Oh,
yeah, maybe I said.
Yeah, maybe you said.
You know what?
You just
let me just say something.
Of those people.
All right, let me just say something. AT&T, whatever you are. Do you know that God hates too? Did you forget about that? Did you know that God hated the so-called infidel? Do you know that God hated anybody that he ate? He gave me the feeling of hate. So what's the difference? If Christians can't hate, they can hate. But it says in the Bible.
Get it right, Michelle. Get it right. It wasn't our own people. I mean, hey, other black people sold other black people. Just because they share the same skin color doesn't mean they were the same people. You don't claim English and French people the same people, even though they're both white, right? Get it right. Start Googling, Michelle. I don't mean to go off on you, but I have to call you out on it.
And by the way, Michelle, let me just say this. It wasn't really the black people that sold other black people.
Okay.
It really was the Spaniards. Unfortunately, to say my history, my family history is the one that did it. The Spaniards were the ones that were ripping those people off and throwing them on boats. But going back to hate, God hates stupid. Do you know that? God hates stupid people. He hates them. The others he says, he forgives them. But he hates stupid people. Got a lot of stupid people in the South. Sorry to say, we got a lot of stupid people in the North. There's double the amount up there. But that's all I'm saying. Not chow beating, but the fact of the matter is that just because you're a Christian doesn't say that, it's unchristian to hate when God himself hates. He invented the frickin' emotion. So, stop talking bullshit, AT.
Yeah.
T. I love you, but...
They lost it. You talk, but they can't see you.
Yeah. Well, then hate her. I only hate stupid people. Anyway, name any scripture in the 18th and you're commanded to hate. Nobody said that you're commanded to hate. He doesn't say hate each other. But God shows examples of his hate.
Speaking of...
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the...
by the way, AT&T, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you over script.
Speaking of the flip side of hate, I guess. This was in a local story. A local church is taking the scriptures to the streets with a portable prayer station, and the walking services are gaining attention across the area. It says, once a month, the Covenant Church of Jesus Christ prays for people in Macon. This weekend, a small group huddled around church members on Poplar Street who stood in the summer sun for hours praying for nearly 50 people. It says, Covenant Church of Jesus Christ, Deacon Ernest Fisher says, it's so many people that won't come unless we come out here and let them know about what God is and how great God is. It says the idea of the prayer station is to provide a place to worship outside the sanctuary, I guess outside the church, wherever. The station will be set up on the fourth Sunday of next month on Mercer University.
Yeah. By the way, there's an old Christian saying that says, hate the sin, but love the sinner. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for you to say that I hate, on the Southerners and all that, I'm not saying that. I never said that. I hate the history and the fact of the idea that they hated on others. You talk about me hating on Southerners. Well, think about it. How much hate did they have in their hearts during one time when they had all the slavery going on? Mm-hmm. And they hated the idea that they were going to lose their chattel and their cattle and their property.
Well, their livelihood, basically.
And their livelihood. And meanwhile, they had a horrible double standard. You know, they wanted to say, well, you know, they're my property, but then they don't want to pay taxes on it. That's what happened with Lincoln.
Well, yeah, because
Lincoln said, screw you, you want to call them property? All right, well, now we're going to tax your ass for it.
Yeah, because they want to call them as part of the population because some states, like South Carolina...
What did they base the tax on, though? Age or...
Well, they supposedly compromise. They only consider 3/5 of the slave population.
Weren't they certain loans were designated for certain jobs or whatever?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Diaz, let me see. Diaz, please refrain from using such words, and I highly disagree. Okay, what words did Diaz use? I don't even know. Anyway,
okay.
On the subject, how did your protest go yesterday? You may have talked about it, but I joined late. Okay, it did go very well as it can go. The only problem, ATT, is that a lot of the rescue workers that were saying, we're going to be there, they didn't show.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, a lot of people talking a lot of hype and then they don't follow through. We did have one woman show up. Actually, there were two. And one of them took the notes and wrote a story about it. The other one was standing down low, and I knew she was. I was calling her up, but she didn't. I was afraid to go on camera for whatever reason. Anyway, so, but it went pretty well. We got the quarantine in place, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they killed 5 animals, and they wouldn't have done that had I not said something.
Right.
I'm sure of it. Those animals would have been adopted out with parvo, and people would have been, it would have been worse for them, I believe. So, Ms. Tennant should be thanking me instead of trying to criticize what I'm trying to do. Because I avoided a lot more of me going at her. Could you imagine me 5 times over? A lot of these people that adopt these animals are overwhelmingly militant in terms of animals. They go crazy. Anyway.
See, now, if we actually had smell-o-vision, they'd be able to smell the pig.
Yeah.
It smells nasty.
Yeah, it's very...
All right, the problem is you keep saying they, grouping they into one group. And if... Okay, am I not saying the people that were saying they were coming, that they did not come? So if you keep up with the conversation, you would know what the reference to they is. And you wouldn't be thinking that I'm lumping all of them together. I said, and I preface this by saying, the people that said they were going to show. So that lumps out everybody else. And the only people I'm referring to, Mr. ATT, are the people that said they were going to show. And that they did not show. Do you see that? Got it? Okay. Here we go.
Yeah,
Next.
very good. I do have at least one good news. Well, not yet. Well, I do have some coming up. But there was some news, local news, that says that a man was claiming to be a police officer forced a Macon woman to the floor of her house at gunpoint yesterday morning, as part of an armed robbery in the 1400 block of Berkshire Drive, south of Eisenhower Parkway, near Pioneer Avenue. Jesus, somewhere in this vicinity. Says the 69-year-old woman told police she was sleeping around 1 a.m. when a man wearing a ski mask and a sweater with police on the front came into a bedroom. The gunman told the woman, "I'm the police, lay on the ground and put your hands behind your back while we search your house," according to the MPD report. So the woman, she stayed on the floor until the gunman went and a second person left, and then she went to the neighbor's house to call for help, according to the report. The police officers noted a side door had been kicked in and the house was in complete disarray, with drawers pulled and dressers and closets emptied out on beds in 2 bedrooms. But a room filled with expensive sneakers appeared untouched, according to the report. The only thing is, I guess, according to the that was stolen from the woman's house was basically a 73-inch television.
Right.
A 73-inch flat screen, yeah. So anyone with information is asked to call the police at 751
You see anybody running down the street with a 73-inch freaking TV tied to their back, call the police.
Yes, please
really.
do. 73 inch.
And
They're like this big. Maybe a little bit bigger, but like
that's what they. By the way, AT&T
that look like a piece of a wall.
AT&T says I was referring to your talk against Southerners. Why do you make that clear? Why do you make such a broad statement like when you refer to they and blah? We're having all these conversations. What the hell? Just preface what you're saying. Again, intelligent talk. Preface what you're saying, and in reference to the Southerners, why do you keep saying they and blah, 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 blah? But you just throw a statement out there when you say they, and I'm thinking what you're talking about are the animal advocates. So if you're talking about the Southern comment, then make it clear that that's what you're talking about. Again, lack of having an intelligent discussion that's clear. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should not say they. What else should I say? What other word can I use in reference to the Southern history here?
Well, at least
some.
At least some good, yeah.
Some what? 50,000 of them? Maybe in reference to them, let's say they. Isn't that proper?
Well, yes. When you're talking about plural, yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Why should I say some? Some of the Southerners.
Well,
some of the Southerners.
Here's one good aspect of Southern culture: Bluebell ice cream.
Yeah, there you
Bluebell ice cream is one aspect.
Of course, you better have a freezer, if not it'll melt on you.
And since it's July is National Ice Cream Month, and so basically, Bluebell Ice Cream made an appearance on WMGT's Daybreak News morning show, and they were talking about how they could keep you cool during the summer months. So
you remember the jingle?
No, not much.
I'm trying to remember. There was a jingle. Bluebell, some bullshit.
Yeah.
On my shoulders makes me happy.
Yeah.
Blue balls.
Yes. Blue balls, yeah, blue balls. Well, anyway, Piper Salem says Yankees ran slavery democratically and demographically for 85 years at the federal level. Then they turn about and develop a God complex like a savior. Kiss Dixie's asses. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe you're right. It took, a lot of people to convince Lincoln to take the higher moral ground, according to what I hear. And Lincoln was a pretty religious guy.
Dixie's.
But I also think in some weird way that Lincoln was gay. I keep saying that.
You know, a lot of people have been saying.
I'm telling you, I think Lincoln was gay.
That's why they said Lincoln. That's why.
Yeah, I think he was like bisexual.
Matter of fact, somebody from the. There was a lot of people, the Log Cabin Republicans, which basically are a group of gay Republicans.
Yeah.
Who actually believe that?
Yeah, of course,
who believe that Lincoln was gay?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see the evidence.
No, I'll tell you why. Because he slept with a lot of men. At that time, men used to be able to sleep together in the same bed without freaking out. Who the hell?
Yeah, but when they mean sleep, they talking about that type of sleep,
not spooning.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
whatever.
not spooning.
But not only that, there is a story about one of his best friends that they're very, very, very close.
Mm-hmm.
And that when his friend moved to another place outside of Illinois, I believe he went to the West, California somewhere, or Colorado, that Lincoln was depressed, and Lincoln actually went to see him, or some bullshit happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of depression going on with Lincoln to begin with.
Well, yeah, you would be depressed too. I mean, you lose.
How can I tell her?
I mean,
what do you mean?
Lincoln lost 2 of his sons while he was president during the White House. Not 1, but 2 sons.
Yeah,
from deep sickness. Yeah.
So maybe he needed some comfort. I mean, when you lose a couple of kids, I can't even imagine that. I never had kids.
Not 1,
I lost
but 2.
my dog after 3 days, and I was in misery. I can only imagine.
Yeah, imagine you losing 2 sons while you're the president, and and during war times too. It's like during the Civil War, you see 2 of your sons die while you're in the White House, and then you got to visit all these, battlefields and stuff, because it's not like where it's like overseas where you just see the coffins and the flags draped over them and stuff. The thing, you down there in Gettysburg and all these places, seeing the bodies, the stench, the smell, the flies, they're clustering all over them and stuff. Come on.
By the way, C-Fuck, welcome back. Good to have you on. Mm-hmm. I just saw you here. And then Saibuki left. Yes, Saibuki left. Yeah, I guess he's over at the other show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody at the other show.
But anyway, Salma Hayek. Yeah, I saw her in a movie recently.
Oh my goodness!
A terrible actress.
Well,
she tries too hard.
What happened?
She did get a. I mean, she's not that. Well, she's in this brand new movie called Grown Ups 2, where she.
Yeah, and she was in Grown Ups 1.
Yeah, she plays Adam Sandler's wife.
I haven't watched that yet.
Like,
I mean, she tries too hard.
She doesn't have to.
How pretty she is.
She doesn't have to try that hard. I mean, the woman.
It's all
the woman's 47. I mean, she's smoking hot for someone who's pushing 50. I will admit that.
That's true. But that's all it's about. At least Sophia Loren had a little bit more acting ability.
Well, true. I mean, somewhat. Yeah, but she's known. I mean, Selma's not a dumb cookie. I mean, she was Oscar nominated for her role playing Frida Kahlo, the Mexican abstract artist. Yeah, Frida, and she did win an Emmy Award. She's an Emmy Award.
Well,
winner.
She's so damn typecast. I mean, she reminds me of Herman Munster. Well, how do I relate to that? Every time you saw Fred Gwynn, you thought of Herman Munster. Well, Every time I see that Salma Hayek, the only thing I'm thinking, there's that sexy woman again. And there's nothing really there other than that.
Damn sexy woman.
I don't say she's a very good actor. I don't say that.
Curse her in her awesome baby-making looks of hers. I mean, she...
Fuck her. Well, by the way,
I would.
Cruz, the other one. The one that banged Tom Cruise.
Oh, Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, Penelope. Now, that's a good actress. Because I've seen her in a Spanish stuff.
I love her
She is very good.
Yes, she is.
As a Spanish actor.
Yes.
As an English actress, sorry to say it, I'm Latino. That accent is freaking annoying.
Well, one thing, because her Spanish, she speaks Castilian Spanish. It's kind of like when they say certain where they speak it with a lift, but when you like when they say certain C words,
just annoys me.
Cebrero de febrero, because they have it like a lift, like a something like that.
Yeah. But Ellen Macon says, "Oh yeah, I agree that she looks good for her age. Yes, she does. I mean,
I'm
she
glad
does.
she finally got married and had a kid.
But that's it. I mean, I don't find her like, oh my God, look who's on this movie. I'm so excited, Salma Hayek. Like, all right, there she is.
Well,
again.
I'm not gonna lie, I was, but
Oh, of course.
But of course,
you're like that with anything female.
Well, not in.
I mean, you like female plants.
Well, I didn't say every female. I mean, you got to be at least somewhat attractive. I ain't say anything about Gabby Sidibe from Precious or Phyllis Diller or somebody like that. I mean,
Phyllis Diller wasn't so bad.
I mean, I do have some standards now. I mean, sheesh.
Now, why'd you?
You do?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Senadoras. Come on, I'm gonna just salivate over any old.
Oh, wait a minute. He said, Piper Sale in Matthew 16, canon laws, and anyone who promotes slavery by word or action is excommunicated. Handed over to hell as hell citizen. The canon law, this sounds very Catholic, but anyway. The canon law about communism says exactly the same thing. People are about the privacy definition, the post-Civil War 14th Amendment. They don't care the first 10 Bill of Rights. Hypocritical. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're right. Anyone who promotes slavery by word or action is excommunicated. It sounds very
Catholic.
Very Catholic.
But do you think?
The
South didn't care? They didn't.
But meanwhile, the Catholics were the ones that said, that the slaves, I'm sure they had slaves.
Well, of course. I mean, but then again, there weren't that many Catholic people in the South, so go figure. So
there was.
They want to do what they want to do, and plus that was their livelihood. That was basically their livelihood, which was when after smoke clears, whether you don't believe it is slavery, but the bottom line is it's all about money. It goes back to the money. And how did the slave made their money through chattel slavery?
Well, who the hell knows? But anyway, we got it says, according to the moral theology, slavery is communism. Yeah.
So I guess it means
I think you're right.
The Confederates were
That's
communists.
your break warning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Hugh Hefner. This is Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike, hey.
It's eyeing Honey Boo Boo for a future gig at a mansion. I hope
why not?
I hope you joking, because there ain't nothing. First of all, that sounds very R. Kelly-ish. Jerry Lee.
God, we were hitting on R. Kelly the other day.
Jerry Lee Lewis-ish. You know, I'm just saying because she ain't cute, and at least not right now. At least, I mean, because she's only 8. What does he see in her? I don't know. Anyway.
They see a fat little girl who's a brat. That's what they see, and they love attention.
Yeah.
And they give her all the attention she wants, just like a crack addict wants crack. Obviously, this Honey Boo Boo wants attention.
Okay.
Michelle says we need one show dedicated to race debate, so we can all get it out of our system, and maybe won't always be brought up for everything. Well. That's going to be a lifetime event. It will never end. Look what's happening right now, even in Egypt, where you have these people going against each other because of religion. Religion and race are always going to be with us, folks, for the rest of our days. We're going to go down, and it's going to be a lot of horse shit.
Yes. And we're off. It's 10:02 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time at the Morning Roast, live at the Doghouse or Cat House.
At the last hour.
Yeah, we're near the last hour. It's 77 degrees. It's cloudy with a high of 87 and a low of 72. It's going to be raining today practically all remainder of the week. It's time for one more break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
3 young men now charged in connection with the murder of a pregnant restaurant worker. And tonight there's word that the youngest suspect may have been a member and recruiter for a notorious street gang. Fox 2's Bill Gallagher talked to the suspect's father.
Jerome Hamilton, now 16, was originally charged with first-degree murder, accused in the shooting death of Catherine Solinsky Blaine. The 21-year-old was pregnant when shot to death last October outside the Rib Rack restaurant in Lathrop Village, where she worked as a manager. Police believe robbery was the motive.
We've amended to open murder so that we can argue our theories could be first-degree premeditated murder, could be first-degree felony murder, depending on how the evidence presents itself.
I've been praying for the family that lost their daughter as well, praying for their comfort and strength. However, I know for sure my son is definitely not a murderer. He's a good kid.
Also charged in the case is 20-year-old Brandon Davis of Southfield. He's accused of conspiracy to commit robbery and being an accessory after the fact. DeAndre Sturgis, 19 of Beverly Hills, is charged with open murder. Hamilton was 15 at the time of the murder and is the suspected trigger man.
It is alleged that he is the shooter of one of 3 boys with regards to the young lady that was shot.
Hamilton's lawyer says no physical evidence links him to the crime. The prosecutor says Hamilton bragged of being a member and a recruiter for the Crips street gang.
My dad said not to touch no children, never again.
It's the night of September 6th, and two officers are pulling into a South Kansas City park wanting to ask a man why he left the scene of an accident. Watch what happens next. Excise Chavez Gutierrez did not survive this shootout with police, and that means the veteran cops will never know why the 36-year-old calmly approached a marked car, raised his gun, and pulled the trigger.
You know when you point a gun at a police officer that it's not going to end up very well. Either you're trying to kill the officer, as it was in this case, or they're going to have to be forced to kill you.
Minutes earlier, officers Galen McGinnis and Eric Turner were looking for a car that had crashed into a tree. On the left of your screen, you can see Chavez Gutierrez walking away from the accident. After finding the vehicle, police head for the park. Officer McGinnis arrives first and nearly loses his life. From his partner's dash cam, you see McGinnis fall back behind his door. Both officers return fire, hitting Chavez Gutierrez several times.
Shots fired, put it in.
Police say he fell to the ground, still clutching the gun with his finger on the trigger, and pointed at the officers. More than a minute later, they still fear for their safety.
Throw the gun to your side, I'm gonna shoot again.
Before tonight, you'd only seen images of the crime scene hours after the chaos.
Drop the gun!
But now, there's a new perspective.
And so it's just a really dramatic piece of video and just illustrates how dangerous the job is and how you never know what you're going to get into when you show up on a call or you show up for work.
And we are back. Wow. It's 10:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House or Dog House, whichever you prefer, in adjacent downtown Macon, Georgia, with Irv, Ed, and DB. It's 77 degrees outside. It's cloudy with a high of 87, low of 72, with a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. There were some storms earlier this morning in Cordele, which was south of Macon. It's probably clearing up right now. There will be some later on in the day, in the afternoon, and we have a whole lot of stuff going on.
All right, C-Flug, I got it, okay? Move on. We got more stuff to talk about. I don't know how else to refer to people other than they.
It's called conjugation.
Exactly.
It's called a pronoun.
And if you want me to use names, what name do you want me to come up with when I talk about the Southern culture? Do you want me to come up with Billy Bob or
John Boy?
Or John Boy? Or what name can I possibly refer to when I'm talking about a group of people? When I say they, that's what I'm talking. I said rescue workers. Did you want me to then say rescue worker, Miss this one in particular? There was a lot of people that said they were going to show that didn't show. And when I say they, I'm lumping them all together in reference to what I'm talking about. They is a proper word to use. For you to say use names, I'd be sitting here all freaking day talking about how many names I can come up with.
Yes.
So I don't know what your problem is. You know.
I mean, it's instigating. I mean, it's really kind of reminds. Well, actually, it kind of reminds me of this particular story right here about the Broward County Sheriff's Office prepares the verdict riot plan. On Monday, earlier this week, the Broward County Sheriff's Office released a video calling on the public not to riot in the wake of the George Zimmerman verdict expected this week or next week in Florida. says the sheriff's office released a statement explaining that it was working closely to the Sanford Police Department and other local law enforcement agencies to coordinate, quote unquote, a response plan in anticipation of the verdict. The video is titled "Raise Your Voice, Not Your Hands," focus on attempting to channel reaction to non-violent response.
And this is what, a police video?
Yeah, it's basically trying to keep people to have cooler heads. So hopefully cooler heads will prevail.
But they're police officers.
Yes, yeah. And little kids in there.
Well, that's good. They can use a little training in that department.
Yeah, the sheriff's department says freedom of expression is a constitutional right. It says while raising your voice is encouraged, using your hands is not. So BSO, the company who's making it, it's created a public service announcement with the help of kids from the Jason Taylor Foundation, Handy, H-A-N-D-Y, that's helping abused, neglected, disadvantaged youth, and basketball star James Jones of the championship team Miami Heat, urging young people not to let their emotions get the best of them.
Yeah.
So,
well, talk about emotions. Yeah, I'm hearing you, Michelle. She says she lives near where Zimmerman, I guess, in Sanford, in Florida, where they're having this trial going on. And believe it or not, they're already starting to set it up where they're expecting riots. I mean, I'm serious, folks. This may be just as bad, especially in Florida, where all those people hate each other down there. I swear to God. I mean, it seems like Florida is one of those places that every hateful New Yorker moved to. Like, every racist New Yorker moved to Florida. And including my own father, who I love to death, but boy, he's a bigot. And he moved down there almost 25 years ago, saying, I want to get away from all these, and he used the N-word.
Yeah.
And then he goes down and guess what he's stuck with? Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't like Florida for that reason. They're all very... They just always look...
Well, and plus not to mention they got way too many hurricanes.
Maybe it's me. But I think they got a lot of hurricanes. They're all frustrated. They buy a beautiful house. Next thing you know, it's floating in the ocean. I'd be mad too, I guess.
Yeah, matter of fact, there was some houses that were floated away from in China recently due to the flooding over there.
Really?
Yes, it has.
Well, you know, it's funny. Macon and Georgia in itself is made of clay, right? Mostly.
Yeah.
It's as stiff as clay, if you notice. We're like sucking clay, right? In Florida, it's a lot of water issues there, a lot of floating houses. So, you know, maybe the environmental has some effect on how people behave. What do you think?
Well, I mean, heat does affect people's psyche to a certain extent, how people will react. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like the story I was talking about, how weather changed the world, you know, with the space shuttle Challenger and with the Titanic. You know, I mean, they're all mostly were technical problems that were in the space shuttle, like with the O-rings, and also with the Titanic, where you had the weather conditions where the cold air and the hot air basically merged together or sandwiched together and gave it a mirage look, which they basically couldn't see the actual
fog.
Big fog, which basically made it impossible to see the upcoming iceberg.
Yeah, they kind of live in a fog down there, I guess. Systemic fog. By the way, Black Panthers, isn't there something coming out? There's a play coming out called The Black Panthers.
Actually, there's a Marvel comic movie coming out.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes, it's a Marvel comic.
They're going to try to glorify the Black Panthers.
That's a whole different other Black Panther. Not the Huey P. Newton bang bang type Black. This is a comic book character from Marvel Comics.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yes. And they say, oh, by the way, yes, Michelle, the hurricane is coming. It's heading your way like a railroad train. I think it's going to slam there, or it may come to Georgia, because it depends. If it veers just a little bit off course, it'll hit our ass. They're actually saying they're going to keep us abreast of the situation.
Yeah, we're so far in.
And it'll slam. No, but it's going in a straight line right to us.
But still, when it hits land, it slows down.
Yeah, it'll probably. But, you know, it's going to slam into Macon, from what I hear.
Bring it on, baby.
Yeah. I just want to say that I have been reversed. A white organization would have not put a $10,000 bounty on Trayvon's head before he was even arrested. Well, that may or may not be true. The only difference is that these guys talk about it, while maybe the so-called white organization, they keep their mouths shut.
That's true.
They don't say nothing.
Just do it on the down low.
They don't do it on the down low.
Yeah.
Oh, I quoted a country song. Which one was that? Anyway. He said the Titanic Halo, I'm from Ireland. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. You're from Ireland. Hey, what's up?
All right.
Yeah, I actually stood at a friend's house. Oh, by the way, all my nephews and nieces are Irish.
Oh, okay.
Or half Irish.
Half Irish.
And, but I stood at a friend of my father's when he was working at the bar as a chef. And she was Irish. And they pronounced the word house. House.
House.
House. Yeah. Welcome to my house.
Well, it's
I never
10:16.
forgot that. Anyway. Then you see, they say hello. How would you say
hello?
that?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Michelle said, nah. All right, let me see. Stevie O says, I know a few patties, too. Oh, Haim? What is that?
Spud Busters.
Potato farmers? Bud busters?
That's, well, in Atlanta.
Half Irish and Rican, yeah. Rocco. They're tall, lanky, and they're pretty faces.
Yeah. There's some other news. Common Core tests could exceed Georgia's budget. It says in Atlanta, national tests are being created for the Common Core educational standards, which could cost Georgia more than its current budget of $25 million for all types of assessments. AGC reports that the tests being created by a consortium of state education leaders known as the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers could run as high as $27.5 million for Georgia. A spokeswoman for Governor Nathan Deal, Stephanie Mayfield, says Deal is exploring options because the concerns about the cost of the assessments. The partnership has set a ceiling for $18.50 per student for the English test it is developing and $18.50 for the math test it's creating. The first two subjects covered by Common Core. Georgia currently spends so far $8 to $9 per student on assessments. So it's pretty much doubling for the test.
The cost of student loan.
Yes, the Common Core test, I guess. I guess it's like a test to make sure that they're college ready.
Yeah, not only that, if you're going to get into debt, that they can pay it off.
Yes.
They don't want to wind up in a dead-end job after all that money being spent.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what it's all about, guys. They're trying to control the money flow. We're not going to give you no loan to help you out with your college if you're not going to do it right. You know, you got a lot of people in horrible debt. They go to college, they don't do well. Next thing you know, they took up biology and now they want to become, a pie maker or a Twinkie maker. Or they want to make burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, I would say, hey, I always say, you can get, right now, thank God for the internet. Because you can self-educate yourself right now without spending all this bullshit money. And you can even make your own diploma. Print it out.
I wouldn't be surprised.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, Hard Knocks. Yeah. Speaking of getting some hard knocks, Stephen McDaniels answers a federal lawsuit, denies involvement in Giddings slaying. This is just breaking a brand new update on the Giddings case.
Yeah, about that guy who's going to get away with murder.
Yes, in a federal court filing, accused killer Stephen McDaniel has denied having any involvement in the slaying and dismemberment of his Mercer University classmate or interfering with her burial. McDaniel was charged with the murder of the death of 27-year-old Laura Giddings. Giddings' parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the 27-year-old McDaniel June 17th, a month ago, seeking more than $5 million in permission from a judge to search McDaniel's maternal grandfather's Pike County farm for their daughter's remains.
Yeah.
Giddings' torso was discovered on June 30th, 2011, 2 years ago, in a garbage can outside the Georgia Avenue apartment complex, where the two students had lived in neighboring units. The rest of her remains have not been recovered. The lawsuit alleges that McDaniel visited the farm, located about an hour west of Macon, on the weekend before Giddings was killed. It was Father's Day, but the suit contends McDaniel went there looking for locations where he could scatter the dismembered body parts through the woods. Investigators never searched the property. Floyd Buford, one of McDaniel's criminal attorneys, filed an answer to the lawsuit on McDaniel's behalf yesterday. It says in a 13-page document, Buford contends McDaniel didn't participate in any events associated with Giddings' death. McDaniel disputes many of the allegations brought by Giddings' parents in their lawsuit, including buying a hacksaw and ingredients to make chloroform, looking at boat anchors, items that the Giddingses alleged could possibly be used to submerge body parts at a Walmart on June 23rd, 2000.
Of course, they're saying it's all circumstantial.
In fact, Giddings' parents alleged McDaniel was spotted on surveillance footage looking at the boat anchors, not only which, visiting his grandfather's farm to survey an area to scatter dismembered body parts, and describing to a college roommate in 2007 how he would commit the perfect murder, quote unquote, including the use of chloroform.
Yeah.
He also denies telling the roommate that he had no conscience and wanted to feel the power of having someone's life in his hands.
Yeah.
Giddings' parents have alleged McDaniel told the roommate that after he killed someone, he would dismember the body and scatter the parts through a wooded area.
Yeah.
That he also alleged to brag to the roommate that he would never get caught.
Yeah.
Among other things, basically stealing a master key to the apartment complex and having a duplicate key to Giddings' apartment, because he was also part a maintenance man at that apartment complex, which was easy for him to do. Also, not to mention taking steps to conceal evidence, such as painting over blood stains on the walls of Giddings' apartment, consenting to a cadaver dog search of his apartment, using the refrigerator in an empty apartment to store Giddings' torso. Giddings' parents alleged their daughter's bloodstains were found in the refrigerator, and that's pretty much all the counts.
Yeah,
he's charged with 30. Yes.
ATT says if you can dismember a person, you have no conscience. I guess he says, geez. You know what?
He's being held at Bibb County
worse
Jail.
than this. This is worse than this. This is a kid that, for all intents and purposes, murdered this girl, chopped her up, and then sits there all stoic and with no emotion.
Like that kid that did the Colorado murder. The Joe.
Yeah, that's true. But even that kid, had, he had that excited look in his eyes, with those big beady eyes.
Yeah. When I was looking
how
at
did he do
Joker.
that? All right.
Wait till he get a
Did
me.
he have that laugh? All right, well.
Probably not. I just had
who knows? How old was that kid killer?
Oh, the killer talking about the Aurora, Colorado?
No, the
Oh, McDaniels. He's 27, so that meant he's 27 now.
I call him kid. Call him kid.
He's 27 right now. But it happened 2 years ago, so I guess he was been 25 when it happened. 25 years old when it happened.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, folks, the weird thing about all this is, and I keep repeating this, is that that woman Nancy Grace never picked up on this. She should have been on this. I think we would have been further down the road. She was involved in this. She would have been all over it. But she didn't. Why? Tell them why, Derek.
Tell them why?
Yeah. Tell them what we propose as an idea as to why she never picked it up.
Because she's from Macon and Mercer University is her alma mater.
Thank you, Seaflug, and thank you, Derek. Yes, and Seaflug said it.
Yep.
And she didn't want to make the college look bad.
Right.
And maybe she's related to this kid, McDaniel, because he's got some family history. Well, his father's got money.
Okay.
He obviously went to Mercer. He wasn't, some pauper walking around and say, hey, let me go to Mercer. No, I know some rich people that can't even get to Mercer. So damn expensive.
Yeah.
But anyway, Let me see. What else is going on? Crazy evil people everywhere. Yes, AT. Yes, we have them here in Macon too. The problem here is that we're a small city, and so what happens here affects everybody.
Yeah, it affects,
on a grand scale.
The whole city.
Like, just imagine a little dog dies, a little puppy, less than 8 weeks old, dies of parvo, and the whole freaking city hears about it.
Yeah,
you can only imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works that way around here. Just one little thing,
and I make sure they hear about it. Mm-hmm. That's the other problem. You know?
Yeah, if they didn't have you wouldn't even know about it.
Yeah. My sister had a dog named Bree. It wasn't hers. She was taking care of it. Mm-hmm. And Bree was this little dog, but it had a gigantic mouth for that dog. I swear to God. I've never seen a dog with such a big head. Mm-hmm. Except the picture that Ed puts up of me.
Right.
Well, I'm like that little dog. Call me Bree if you want. I bark and yell so everybody, Seafuck says being a small city has its advantages for the same reason. We ought to know each other better than we do. You're right. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, like they say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
And by the way, I do love my city. I really do. I wouldn't listen. I'd be sitting here, staying quiet and living large without anybody knowing about it. Of course, I don't live large, but I would have been living whatever life I'm living without any bother. But I love the city too much, enough to speak out on the injustice that goes on around here, or the lack of justice that goes on around here. Because a lot of it is people are stoic; they stay quiet and still, kind of like that Korean airline. Mm-hmm. Guess what happened when they stood quiet and they didn't culturally mix and mingle and talk and dare address the situation? They crashed.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right, the city's going to continue to crash if it doesn't speak up.
I got some
two new breaking stories.
We got breaking stories.
Mm-hmm. I got one.
Bacon, and then another one very tragic.
All right, here we go.
I got some brand new one. It's about felony murder charges added in the Gail Spencer case. Yes, indeed.
This is Pinkerton, right? This is the woman.
The people that work for Calder Pinkston.
Yeah, the law firm, right? Yes.
Well, say the name right.
Yes, the 4 people accused in murdering legal secretary Gail Spencer now face new charges from a grand jury.
Wow.
Tracy Jones, Michael Brett Kelly, Courtney Kelly, and Keith Dozier already faced 1 count each of malice murder as well as some lesser charges. On yesterday, a grand jury tacked on 3 counts each of felony murder. Prosecutors say Spencer was suffocated in her home last October. They believe Spencer was killed as part of an embezzlement plot against the Macon law office where she worked. The 4 defendants still remain in the Bibb County Jail.
Yeah. Well, this is a very sad story. And, Mr. Pinkerton, his name is? Mm-hmm. I always pronounce his name wrong. But he's the guy that basically sat down with Nikki Randall and wrote the Macon Bibb consolidation idea. He's a good Joe in our community, and it's very sad. He's now going blind. All the stress of having his secretary murdered. I mean, how do you go to work the next day? When most of her handwriting is on the paperwork, and I'm sure most of the filing, he wants to ask her, where is this and where is that, and he can't. I mean, it just it's very, very bad.
I think the other
and it took 4 people to murder a woman. She was an older woman.
Yeah, exactly. Other breaking news. This is sports related. This is from Marvin James from WMAZ. Says in Quitman, Georgia. Says authorities in South Georgia say 3 high school football players may have been killed in a car accident.
Yeah.
Look at this car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the car is pretty bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like worse than a banana.
Brooks County coroner's officials say that the teens were involved in a 1-car crash Tuesday morning yesterday north of Quitman, 20 miles west of Valdosta.
Oh, jeez. Look at the car.
Coroner's officials have identified the victims as Jakari Watkins, Johnny Parker, and Sean Waters. All 3 of them were 18 years old. Authorities say that the teens attended Brooks High School and were on their way to a morning practice session when the accident happened. says former Northeast Macon head coach Maurice Freeman is the head coach now at Brooks County. Authorities say a fourth boy, Devron Whitfield, was airlifted to Shands Hospital in Jacksonville, Florida. Detail on how the accident happened were not immediately available, according to Brooks County Sheriff's Office. Say the Georgia State Patrol is investigating the crash, and there is a vigil scheduled for 6 p.m. at Brooks High School.
That's either
today.
a F-150 or Expedition.
Yeah.
That's like a truck or an SUV.
Oh yeah.
My God.
Yeah, who the hell knows what it is? You can't really even tell. Yeah, it is an S. Yeah, it looks like a truck now on the front end there. I guess that's the front end here on that side. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
terrible,
man.
terrible.
That is a mess.
But and God rest their soul, they were young. They were babies. Really.
They were just 18. All
And
three of them 18.
AT&T is addressing the San Francisco article. By the way, this what is it? Is the LA Times? Is it the LA Times? They do a lot of stories on Macon for some reason. But the San Francisco police are still looking for a person who poisoned meatballs. What an evil person, I agree. They put meatballs in dog parks. Let me tell you a story. I have one where my dog was poisoned, believe it or not, by my neighbor. Because that dog, Lucy, she didn't die. What happened was she developed all these seizures. And we had to put her down because she was out of control. She just wasn't a dog anymore. It's just a seizure animal having seizure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do different type of stuff, poison for. I remember one dude. I guess he was trying to talk bullying. You know, his dog used to like chase kids on the bikes and basically like, look, man, you need to put it on a leash or something or control your dog. And then one dude, he tried to sick his dog on us, and then basically my friend's dog basically kicked the dog's butt. You know, and he was smaller than the dog. You know. He was smaller than the dog was bullying, which I kind of liked it. But the thing was and the thing is, Dixon.
Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah.
It happened to me too.
Yeah.
Staten Island.
The dog, I mean, the thing was about, the dog's name was Dixon. He just basically kicked this dog's butt, you know. I forgot his name. I think it was Rocco or Bolo. Man, I think it may have been Bolo because they named him after that big husky Chinese dude from Enter the Dragon, if you ever seen that movie. This dog.
Rocco, let's be easy because we have a racial issue going on here, and one of the stipulations on Vaughn Live is no racism. So please keep it low. Don't put words up that people are going to get offended, because then we're going to be blocked, and then we're not going to have a show.
Yeah. Also, with Diaz, here's the thing. They didn't poison the neighbor. They poisoned the dog. After Dixie kicked his dog's butt, they basically poisoned the Dixie's dog dish bowl. They put some antifreeze in his dog dish and it basically killed him, because antifreeze has like a minty aroma to a minty flavor to a dog, and basically think it was some minty water, but it was, you know.
All right, so we're gonna go now to we need some God in all this, because everybody's going off about racism.
Yes,
and
go
all
back
this.
to.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the center here, and I'm gonna read it out of the book. That way, I can watch you people as you talk to each other. And we're gonna look at the Daily Bread for today. What is it? July
10th.
July when?
July 10th.
July 10th. Here we go. July 10th. 2013, Daily Bread is called Stand Firm. I'm standing firm. Please, keep the racist talk down. Please. We got enough problems. And when I refer to racism, I'm talking about don't use the words. Don't use the words. If you want to talk race, we talk about race all the time. But don't use the words. We try to not use it, okay? Daily Bread, Stand Firm is the name, the title for today. And as our final project for a high school earth science class, a friend and I built a stream table, whatever that is, with extensive help from my father. We built a long plywood box with a hinge in the middle. Then we lined it with plastic and filled it with sand. At one end, we attached a hose. At the other end, was a drainage hole. After assembling it all, we raised one end of the string table, turned on the water, and washed it as it created a path directly to the hole to the other end. The next part of the experiment was to take place a rock in the stream, and we watched how it changed the path of the water. This project taught me as much about life as it did about science. I learned that I can't change the direction of things are going if I'm on the bank of a river. I have to step into the stream of life and stand there to divert its flow. That's what Jesus did. The Bible refers to salvation as a rock. 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 47. In Psalms also, chapter 62, verse 2, verse 6 through 7. And the Apostle Paul clarifies that Christ is that rock. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. God placed Jesus in the stream of history to change his course. When we remain steadfast in Christ, abounding in the work of the Lord, God uses us to teach the course of history through the acts of obedience that turns others to him. The Master is seeking a harvest. In lives he's redeemed by his blood. He seeks for the fruit of the Spirit and the works that will glorify God later. Be sure to put your feet in the right place and then stand firm. That is written by Abraham Lincoln. To be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. There you have it, folks. Stand firm in what you believe. Stand firm to change the path of history.
Very much. Thank you very much. I concur.
There you go. And I hope that you like that. It'll be on our Morning Roast page as well as on my page at Irving Martinez. Thank you, Ed.
Yes, thank you. That was so enthusiastic of you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go.
Yes, and again, we want to give our condolences to the three high school students who lost. It was sports related. I did, going back to some sports related news. There's some more update on ex-NFLer.
All right, once again, let me stop you here again. Guys, once again, we talked about this yesterday. I mean, here I am, you have no respect for God's word. Because what you guys are talking about is so much nonsense and you're talking between each other and your brains are talking. So obviously you don't hear anybody else because your minds are speaking so much louder than anything that I could speak. That you somehow divert the ability for you to get some sense in your heads, and you continue on with your stupid whatever. Nonsense. Once again, if you want your own show and you want to now bombard the chat with your bullshit, then create your own show. Go there and you can yap all you want. But when you're on our show, pay attention to what's being said, and especially when I'm talking about the daily bread, because God's word should be respected, at least. And even if you don't believe in it, respect it, at least. Show some respect. Okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. In other news, we've found out some more additional news about former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez. Says an associate of the ex-football player said he was told Hernandez fired the shots that resulted in the death of a semi-pro football player, according to documents filed in Florida. The records obtained by the Associated Press also show that a vehicle wanted in a double killing in Boston a year before had been rented in Hernandez's name. Together, the revelations provide the most damning evidence yet against the 23-year-old star athlete.
Yeah.
Hernandez has been charged in the June killing of Boston semi-pro athlete Odin Lloyd. The records say Hernandez associate Carlos Ortiz told Massachusetts investigators that another man, Ernest Wallace, said Hernandez shot Lloyd in an industrial park near Hernandez's home in North Attleboro. The gun used in the killing has not been found as of yet. The records also show that police, while investigating Lloyd's killing, searched in Hernandez's town of Bristol, Connecticut, and found a vehicle wanted in connection with the July 2012 double homicide near a Boston nightclub. Says Hernandez has pled not guilty in Lloyd's killing. His legal term did not return email messages yesterday. Wallace is facing an accessory to murder charge in the case and has pleaded not guilty in that crime as well.
Wow.
That's what's going on with it.
Here we go. Hernandez. What a sad story that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I mean, look. You know, that's all right, Michelle. Don't worry about it. We'll just move on. And hopefully he'll come back with a new attitude. I'm sick and tired of seeing every time somebody's on, especially him, that he starts going off and going off on tangents while we're talking, and he's making all these statements, and everybody's all caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what the show is supposed to be about. I mean, I want you guys to have conversations and then talk to each other, of course. But when you start to divert the attention away from what we're talking about, it's something that I'm going to stand firm on and say, hey, stop it, because it's still our show. And it belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to one person. It belongs to all of us. And why do we have so many people on here that hate? Is because they know that we allow them to be here. We allow the vocal bites. We allow the racist rank thing going on. You know, but up to a point. You know, you are allowed sometimes, but damn it, when you're doing it all morning, and all you're doing is continuing the same nonsense, you know, give it up already. Get with the program. You got other crappy stations on here on Born Live that you can go to and rank. But not here. Done with it. Thank you. Anyway, good morning, Mr. Jugs. Welcome back. Oh, good to have you all here. You guys are like family already.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, when I see a C-Flux, a DS, an Earl Skillet, when I see an LM making a plastic canvas, when I see an ATT and a BS Sports cards, and a Michelle Stacy and a Missy Judge and a Nical 3000 and a Rush 29 and Snow Parks. You knew Snow Parks, but when I see you two, and Too Much, of course, and Zappa and True Spout and Fat Benny the Bully, hey buddy, and Steve J.O. or J. Stevie O. And that's when I see you guys here, it's like family.
Yeah. I was just reading what Earl said. Did I hear anything about Arthur Marshall going to jail? What he went in jail for? Because those who don't know, Arthur Marshall, he was a guy that came around the same year Earl and I, when Arthur Marshall, he came on at UGA, same time Earl and I first went there as freshmen. He's a former American football wide receiver in the NFL. He signed by the Denver Broncos back in 1992 as a free agent, entering a free agent in 1992. He also played football college at UGA. He also played for the New York Giants.
It says real estate fraud.
Oh, he went to jail for real estate fraud?
Is that right, Earl?
Wow.
Is that what you're saying? Real estate fraud, you said.
Wow, that's bad.
Hey, Too Much. I love you, kid.
I
love having you around. Believe me, all you guys mean a lot to me. All I see is names, but I also feel your personalities, and I love you guys for that. I really do. I mean, a lot of people would say I'm stupid and crazy, but, you know, it's just something about you guys when you guys speak and give your opinions and all that. It endears me to you.
Okay, so you said real estate fraud. Is it the same thing? Is it pertaining to the bank fraud? Because back in June 2010, he was sentenced to 69 months in prison for bank fraud. Is that the same thing, or is that a total other?
He says yes. He says yeah. Oh. He answered back yes. By the way, ATT says it's Tebow taking that one guy's place. You're talking about Hernandez. Boy, I hate to follow in his shoes.
Yeah, but the thing is, Hernandez, I think he's a defensive player. He's not really a quarterback. I guess they got to fill in that spot anyway. But and why not with having a spare quarterback? Because what's his name? Tom Brady. He's a good quarterback, but he's getting up in age.
Well, what's so funny is they're gonna go from a murderer to like a guy who's devoutly,
Yeah, that's like a 180. I mean, hopefully.
Completely.
I mean, do you want him to suck? I don't think his face should be shouldn't be either a liability or an asset, added asset, to it. I mean, if he gets the job done, he gets the job done. As long as he put the W's in there.
Be a sports cards is saying he's a sports nut. He says there are many more better T's than Tebow, and then he says Tebow won't be able to learn the position that fast. It's the pros. He can't change it that fast. That's true. I mean, he plays a different game.
Yeah,
he plays a Gators game.
Yeah, we'll see college football. Yeah,
still in the Gators.
Yeah, college football is kind of different than pro.
Yeah.
But if
why they make him pro then?
Money. To make money. I mean, the people don't tend to do stuff for free now.
That's true.
I mean, if he makes the T, if he doesn't, maybe he could be a really good backup for Tom Brady. You never know.
Well, he says, quarterback to T is a big change.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's true. I mean, granted, it is. I mean, it's still an offensive. He's still on the offensive side of the ball, offensive position, offense position. But those are two different offensive positions. But still, he's on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hopefully not too well, because I want the Atlanta Falcons to be able to go all the way to the Super Bowl, since that Brian Banks now is on the team.
Well, Seafluck says there is also the game of life. You can't dump a truckload of money on a kid and expect him to be an adult. Very good.
That's very good.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
That would be a very good explanation to why all those NFL players, those 29 players, have been convicted over the last 5.5 months since the Super Bowl, because once you won, unless your team won the Super Bowl, what else are you going to do between then and September? I mean, you have 6 months of nothing to do.
Yeah.
You got to take that aggression out on somebody, or something.
By the way, Seafluck, dump a truckload of money on this kid, and you'll see me be an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Anyway, Fat Vinny the Bully says B is, who knows? He might be a natural at the position.
Yeah, you never know.
And then be a sports guy said the tight ends have to be great blockers too. It's funny how they call them tight ends. What do you think I think when I hear the word tight end?
Like a tight end?
No, I think of a tight ass.
Like a sphincter.
Especially these football players with those big butts that they got.
That's usually from pads and
gigantic butts. You know who has a big butt, by the way? I swear to God. I went to Yankee Stadium. No. What's his name? The guy that always has these girlfriends.
Derek Jeter?
Derek Jeter. I go to Yankee Stadium, and I'm up in the clear, I'm not in the nosebleeds. Well,
of course, he is half black, so
I'm not in the nosebleeds. But I swear to you, so help me God if I'm lying, all I saw was a gigantic white butt with a hat on.
White butt with a hat on.
Well, whatever. I wasn't up in the nosebleeds. I swear to you, that's what I saw. I was telling everyone, that guy's got a big ass for a
baseball player.
Maybe that's what the girls like. Girls look at boys' asses too,
Well, yeah, that's true. Speaking of one girl who may not be looking at some ass anymore, Stacy Keibler just got dumped, or dumped George Clooney because he's not, marrying her. So basically, they had to break up.
Who's this?
Stacy Keibler.
Who the hell is that? Sounds like the
booty call. The booty call du jour. The woman, the tall blonde who was dating George Clooney for the past year and a half or so, after he dumped the Italian woman.
Yeah.
So she basically she ran out of time, and time ran out of regulation. So she had to get kicked to the curb, because he's in his 50s and she's like 33 years old, 30. So basically, she tried to arrange Georgie and try to marry him, but I guess it didn't work. I guess it didn't work.
Misty Jugs is making me laugh over here. She says, I do. I look at chicks' asses and dudes' asses. I'm no carpet muncher. I never heard that one before, carpet muncher. I have munched carpet before, says Michelle Stacy. Oh, Lord. All right, here we go. Oh, Keebler is her name. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Stacy Keebler.
Yeah, like the Keebler
elves.
Yeah.
Not exactly like the cookie.
His sister.
But yeah,
she's
George,
the one that bakes those cookies.
Yeah. George, he liked those cookies for about 2 years, and I guess they got still. So like, you got to go.
Yeah. By the way, attention to this question: why do women stamp tattoos? Answer: so men can get where to place the beard during doggy style sex. Terrible. Terrible joke, AC.
Speaking of getting stomped,
I don't think they would like that joke.
Yeah, people are getting stomped. The U.S. defeated Belize 6-1 in Gold Cup play. The Gold Cup play is a brand new soccer tournament that starts every 2 years. The United States has won 4 Gold Cups since the tournament's inception in 1991, and Mexico has won the past 2. So it was a wonderful, wonderful victory for the United States. They beat Belize. This Gold Cup tournament is usually around the United States and all the other countries in North America, within the Western Hemisphere, particularly those in Latin America and the Caribbean, like Costa Rica and Mexico and all the other countries within that area. Yeah. In other news, the Detroit Lions have agreed to terms for Matthew Stafford's career as they want him to stay as the quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford is basically like me. He's an alma mater from UJ. He agreed to terms to keep him under contract through 2017, which is 4 more years. So it was a 4-year contract with added 53-year extension. 3-year extention, $53 million.
53 years.
I got it mixed up.
My God, could you imagine?
Here goes.
Give me that ball. Wait a minute, my scrotum's in the way.
Yes.
I'm tripping over my scrotum. You ever see that? Old men get like these elongated scrotums.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
See, basically, Detroit Lions drafted Matthew Stafford as number 1 overall pick in 2009, number 1 overall, and signed him to a 6-year contract with as much as $78 million with a $41 million signing bonus and guarantees. After 2 injury-shortened seasons, he helped the franchise reach the playoffs 2 years ago for the first time in more than a decade. So now he got a 3-year extension and $53 million in the deal. So good luck to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And also other news, some bad stuff. Oh yeah, almost the Atlanta Braves beat the Miami Marlins 6-4. They're gonna try to sweep the Marlins tonight.
They're gonna try.
Yeah, they're gonna try their best. Also, in other news, this is NBA. The Houston Rockets league was fined $150,000 by the NBA. A league spokesman confirms the team and its personnel were fined $150,000 by the NBA for comments made about the All-Star Center during the moratorium period. Howard committed to lead the Los Angeles Lakers and joined the Rockets on Friday. And Rockets general manager Daryl Morey gave an interview later that night with Comcast Sportsnet Houston, which he talked about the recruitment of landing of him. Coach Kevin McHale also discussed Howard over the weekend at the Orlando Summer League. Through a free agency opened on July 1st, it didn't become official until Wednesday after the 2013-14 salary cap is set. And that's all we have for sports. Yes.
Boy, that was good.
Yeah.
Do we have Wordsmith?
Oh, yes, we do.
Let's get that in.
Yes, we'll go ahead and get that out.
Oh, while you're doing that, let me go get my lighter. Just wound up in the bathroom.
Go ahead. Word of the day. Yes. And we're done. Hey. Thank you. Okay. The word
Bye,
for the
Michelle.
day. was kind of foul. Now, speaking of our word for today, is fowl. F-O-W-L.
Wow, look at that.
Fowl was the main term for bird in the Old English period, but in Middle English it was gradually replaced by bird. It remains in use in compounds.
Well, you know what? Speaking of, the woman's purse was stolen from foul play.
Yes.
Wasn't foul play the one that was robbed?
It was stolen at foul play, even though it was a foul crime, F-O-U-L, but it was stolen at foul play, F-O-W-L.
And that foul smell.
Yes.
Really I saw that Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
As I said, it remains in use in compounds such as wildfowl and waterfowl, and is sometimes still applied to chickens. It goes back to a prehistoric Germanic Voglas or Fuglas, F-U-G-L-A-Z, which is also pronounced and still very much current German and Dutch Vogel, Swedish Fagel, and Danish Fugl, F-U-G-L, all signifying bird, and which may have been a derivative of the same source, flug, F-L-E-U-G, as gave in English fly, in which case fowl would literally mean flying creature. So there you have the word update, word origins, fowl.
For fowl, and isn't it funny because foul play, its logo was a big chicken with a
big cock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big cock-a-doodle-doo. And along with a kind of a referee or...
Yeah, referee shirt.
Yeah, a football referee. Is that... They call him referee?
Striker, yeah.
Anyway.
And also, we want to know who said that first. Who said this phrase, Luce? Who said this phrase? First, yes. Thank you. Screw loose. Says, although the mid-19th century was hardly as equipped with mechanical contrivances as the 20th century, there were enough about to make the image of a screw being loose quite a valid image of dysfunction. Streetcars, sewing machines, brick makers,
they call me.
Lawnmowers, Yale locks. Yes, Charles Dickens turned the literal loose screw into a metaphorical in Martin Chuzzlewit in 1844. When Mark Tapley tells Mr. Martin, "I've had my eye on you any time this fortnight. I will see well enough there's a screw loose in your affairs. Yeah. I knew well enough the first time I seen you down at the Dragon that it must be so, sooner or later."
No.
So there you have it. Who said it first? Screw loose. It was Charles Dickens.
Wow.
Charles Dickens.
It's funny. Screw, Dickens. There's some kind of correlation going on there. I wonder. I wonder if he thought that. He said, I got a name like Dick. Let me make a comment about screw. I wonder what went on in his head.
Who knew, man?
Who knew, man? Yeah. Oh, by the way, screw loose to me is like somebody who's loose.
Yes.
Like somebody that likes to screw around. Or AKA a whore.
Yes.
Whether it's male or female.
Well, anyway, it's 10:58 right now. I want to say thank you for all the people who chatted in, came on here. Diaz Photo Guy, Earl Big Skillet, Rosalind Nicole, thank you for coming. Also, Plastic Canvas, ATT, Beer Sports Cards, Misty Jugs, Nical 3000, Rush 2929, Snow Sparks, Too Much, Zappa 1, Fat Vinny the Bully, Ned Stark, also Saibuki, who was here earlier.
Yeah, Rocco, for as much as he's a pain in the ass, I
Rocco,
still
the Breakfast
like him.
Club, who was here earlier today. I guess that would be Donnie Curry. And also thank you, Ant, for calling in today. That was a really great blast from the past. Thanks for calling in, and hope it's not going to be the last time you call.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, just want to say one thing. I don't know if we're able to close the show on it. It may be kind of creepy, but there's this brand new. I sent you the trailer for it. It's called there's this brand new Chucky movie called The Curse of Chucky.
Put it on their link.
The Curse of Chucky.
I don't want to put that on.
I have to
go through it and edit that out.
Yeah, but he's gonna put the link up. Check it out.
I'll
That's
bring the
a
link
trailer.
up. It's a brand new movie.
Ed's got a picture.
It's not gonna be in theaters. What I've been told, because I guess people are all Chuckied out and stuff in theaters. However, it will play. It is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray in October where basically it's going to be a brand new type of Chucky where Brad Dourif, who does the voice of Chucky, he's going to have his daughter play in the movie as well. So basically the Curse of Chucky. So I guess it's going to be the family tree. I guess she's going to be stuck. His daughter's going to play, I guess, his daughter.
Who's playing Chucky?
He's playing Chucky. He's
me.
The movie is hard to believe.
It's
hard to believe the movie. That's what reminded me of that story because I heard about it yesterday.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe that the movie Child's Play, as you know, which talked about the doll Chucky. It's hard to believe it came out 25 years ago. This upcoming December.
I'm a star.
25 years ago, the Child's Play movie, the Chucky movies first started.
Right.
Back in November of 1988. So, you know, The Curse of Chucky, the 6th movie, the 5th sequel, is coming out on Blu-ray and DVD this year in October. Oh, and by the way, speaking of other DVDs, 42 is coming out in July the 16th. Is coming out next week. Yeah. So definitely check that out.
By the way, anybody that runs into Rocco and these other stations, I'm sure he's bouncing around somewhere. Maybe he's on the Breakfast Club. I don't know. Tell him we love him. Yeah. Tell him it's all right. Anyway, he's scolded more than once. Just understand that there has to be some compliance.
Yes.
You use the N-word on our show. One of the rules of the game and the rules of the road here on Vaughn Live is no racism, and that is blatant. You know, you're putting it out there. Yes. And if we don't stop it, they may just ban us from Vaughn Live. It puts the show at risk.
That's true. It's 11:01 right now. It's 81 degrees in Macon with a high of 87 and a low of 72. It's really getting cloudy. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Vinny. Thanks, guys. Love you all.
Can you smell with the ropes is broom?
Bye, Eve. See you in the movies somewhere.
Sure that I'm not all business. Glasssoft created this brand new product called the Party Chip. Want to try one now?
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep some money in.
Claro, gracias.
Yeah. Well, now that Glasssoft is making history, why don't us make a little history of our own?
I heard Earth thundering kaboom!